Hello everyone, starting almost in time today. Happy to see you all guys there in the chat. Thank you for waiting for this one extra minute. And it's day 522 of this brutal total war that Russia waged on Ukraine when it invaded us in on 24th of February 2022. And Ukraine's been struggling. Um, I mean, pushing back hard, not just struggling. I don't know, why am I not saying hello to each and every one of you, but started with these speeches. But yeah, let me be less formal as I usually am. Hey, Steven, I see you're in time today. Happy to see you all there, guys. Annie, Lynn, Tonnerre, Kathleen R, Armand, Cinnamon, hi everyone, Pamela Jesse, sorry. Then Zonke, I guess it's Zonke, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's not German. Hey, Julia, Chris Lunday, Carolyn G, Pat Challenge, Yvonne Way, hi guys, happy to see each and every one of you. Hey, Michelle. Much love from South Carolina. So we guys are having a special guest today. It's Dylan Burns joining us. He's pretty famous, as I've known not so long ago. But I just have known about Dylan about 9 days ago when Good Morning Kyiv hosted him. No, not hosted him. Had a guest. Had Dylan as a guest. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm also pretty tired all this week. I cannot find enough energy to deal with everything, unfortunately. But I'll be talking about this a bit later. After we talk with Dylan, I guess. So Dylan is going to be joining us in 27 minutes at 8 p.m. Ukrainian time. And for now, we're going to be doing the intro. We're going to talk about the current fundraiser and about the donations already been received. You guys have been sending it for the last couple of days, and it's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to mention all of them, definitely. You guys are amazing. Thank you for coming to the stream so early. Not all the people are getting that early because of the time zones and all that stuff. But anyway, it's not the case. I see 64 likes. Please give it a like if you haven't done it yet, because it helps with engagement and will attract more people to the stream. Thank you very much. Okay, so guys, let's talk about fundraiser. Before we have Dylan, he's very interesting, and I'll agree with those people who said there in the chat and on Good Morning Kyiv that he's a legend. Yeah, he's definitely a legend, and him for the president is actually something awesome that might happen in the future too. But that guy is brilliant. So I'm excited to have him in just 25 minutes. And stay tuned. Don't turn hey, not turn, but don't switch the channel, yes please, because Dylan is going to be here today. He's just going to be here in 25 minutes. By the way, guys, tell me if everything's okay with the sound and with the picture and all that stuff, if I'm not stuttering, because my internet hasn't been good lately. Actually, I gotta do one thing. Just give me a second. Probably will improve the connection a bit. But maybe it won't, who knows. Okay, whatever. Thank you very much for coming to the premiere. Yesterday was not the new video. Yes, I dubbed it around half a year ago, but a lot of people were asking to put those interviews with just subs without dubbing because some people prefer that, and I decided to make that experiment. Not all the people are happy about that, but I'm planning to actually probably post with each new premiere of the new dub. I mean, I will be posting that one without a premiere, just as a um, addition, as an addition, without any, like, how do you call it, fuzz about it, and I'm just gonna be silently posting it, let's say the next day after, or maybe the day before I premiere the dub. It's actually not a bad idea. So let's see how it goes. I'll figure it out in the future. But thank you very much for everyone who came yesterday. And Suzanne Niffen is gifting 20 memberships. This is crazy, Suzanne. Thank you very much for this generosity, and welcome everyone who just joined the membership. CDY, see you there. I'll be in and out of the chat today. I'm picking up new chickens this morning. Awesome, awesome. But you'll be listening, right? Because people do that all the time lately. As I do, I'm listening, but doing some of my stuff, like washing dishes. I do that a lot because, damn it, there's always a pile of dishes standing there in the kitchen, right, guys? Rick's doing a great job. I support your hard work. Thank you very much, GZA 160. Okay, guys, I want to mention your names real quick, if you don't mind. They're in the chat. Rizzo Loca, Ciao Rick, Ciao to Italy from Ukraine. Ellison Marlowe, hello. Little Dickens too, hi. Dominic Bamberger, Baumberger, Berger, yeah, probably like that. Welcome. Okay, but I'm gonna spend too much time on mentioning all your names. Susa, hello. A.F. Kaplan, Pamela Jesse, I've already mentioned you. Okay, Jade Collins. Sorry, guys, if I will miss anyone. Obi-Wan, yes. Okay, so let's talk about the fundraiser. As you guys remember from the previous stream, and those of you who weren't there yet, that we're raising money for the anti-drone system for the first brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine. Actually, a battalion of Kulchitsky, who's the hero of Ukraine who died in 2014. One of the how is it called? Regiments? No, regiment is a bigger formation. But yeah, one of the units of that battalion, they need an anti-drone system. They've been fighting on Kupiansk's direction, and you remember that Russians had a breakthrough on that direction just a few weeks back, just like a week and a half. And it was pretty rough there. They have a lot of artillery there, and of course those drones, they have as many of them as we do. Currently, Russians are catching up with us, and China is helping them a lot. Unfortunately, a lot of, how do you call that? Shit. Investigations about how China is helping Russia to get those drones and get the electronics for those drones and for those rockets. And thank you very much, Little Dickens, for $20. Just received a donation. Thank you. Okay, guys. Also, yeah. Sorry. Can you feel how I breathe? It's because I'm so fucking tired. Damn it. That. Okay, but I will do that. You know that I can perform pretty well even when I'm exhausted or just tired. You know how it works. Now, so, getting back to the fundraiser. Let me show you the screen. Just a second. And as always, I'm not showing you the screen. You know why? So we have 109 likes, probably 110. Awesome. Great job, guys. 150. Probably. Borgfella, keep breathing. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've been also riding a bicycle for a couple of days, like yesterday evening and today morning, and I haven't been doing it for a while, so I need to get adapted, and I feel a bit tired because of that too. But whatever, we're not talking about me, we're talking about fundraiser. Let me try to get you the what? Let me check this screen. Yeah, it is here. It's window capture 4. I just needed to get it, that bug. Window capture 4. Okay, I can actually, I think, do this one. Is it the right one? Yes, I guess it is. I guess it is the right one. And this one, it's a little spoiler what we're going to be talking about, but whatever. You probably watched that video already. Anyway, for those who didn't watch it, I'll talk about it a bit later. So this is the anti-drone system. Here's it is on the Ukrainian site, website. Yeah, here it is. And you should hold it like this. Am I showing it to you correctly? Just give me a minute. Yeah, I guess I'm showing it to you without covering anything. So you guys see it. You guys see the price. It's 290,000 hryvnias. It's pretty expensive, almost. Oh my god, how much is it? It's about $8,000, but you see the price on the progress bar. Progress bar is in here. Yeah, here it is. 360. It's because we called them. I mean, my colleague from work who is actually raising these money. He is, yeah, actually started it, and I'm helping him. And he asked me to help him. So he called them and asked them what price it will be, because on the previous stream it was 280,000 and now it's 290, and they told him that since the 1st of August, just in 2 days, it's gonna cost 360,000. Yeah, so the price is 360,000. We agreed with my colleague to put the price right away. The new price, 360 it is, and yeah, it's pretty expensive. We still need to raise 90%. We still need to raise 300 and about 20,000 hryvnias. It's pretty much, yeah. We're not going to be doing it real quick because it's a big sum of money. But I believe in us, and I'm sure that in a month or two we're definitely gonna close this fundraiser and we'll be going to the next one, because that unfortunately everything is expendable there on the front line, and Ukrainian army will always need the equipment because they lose it all the time, because it's war. This is how it works. You constantly lose everything there: cars, drones. Sometimes I guess thermal scopes could be lost too. Especially uniform is very, very easy to be lost, and not just like lost, but you can just be completely, it could be completely destroyed by the conditions that our soldiers always in, So, I want to notice that this system is very needed, because the drones, they have been doing a lot of problems for them, and they heard some good feedback about this one from the soldiers who's been using it, and they asked us to raise funds for this one. So yeah, they're getting back there. Right now they're on rotation, but they're getting back there in a couple of weeks, and we're unfortunately going to be able to help them only in a couple of months, because usually we raise that much money for about 2 months. That's how it works in here. But anyway, I just received the donation from Mikkel. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's 27.97. So guys, talking about how to donate, we have two options. You can donate directly to the jar using the Monobank link. It's a Ukrainian bank. It's been posted here into the chat by our amazing moderators. Yes, forgetting the word. So you guys will see it there, and it's also in the description of these, not these, but this stream. You can go to the description and you'll see the Monobank link. This is the one option, but the option that is easier from the people around the world is by PayPal. So my PayPal is my email. It's been also there in the description of the stream, and this Yeah, this is the option where you drop, where you send money to my PayPal, and in the end of the stream, I redirect them to this jar, so you will see that I donate this money right here on the stream. Most of you guys know how it works, I'm sure, but for those of you who didn't, you will see how everything happens, how money go from my PayPal to the jar. I will do everything here on the screen. I usually do that so everything's transparent. So, okay, guys, new rule about, not the rule, but I don't know, it's for your anonymous, no, what, how can I call it? Anonymity, right? Is a word? Hey, Charlie, happy to see you. So, yeah, guys, for you to stay anonymous, you please, when you send donation, you can put a comment to it, right? So you can put the comment where you say from who it is, or if you don't want to say from who it is, from who it is, I'm not going to be pronouncing your names that are your real names, but your nicknames, just like Little Dickens did a couple of minutes before. Little Dickens sent, let me, just give me a second. So it was, okay, this, I'm so sick of it. I don't like to do it, but yes. So now it was sent, shit, PayPal, come on, please don't do this. Okay, Lynn S just sent $36.22. Thank you very much, Lynn. Yeah, so I'm gonna be saying your nicknames, which you put into the comment of your donation. Yes, please do that, so I won't be disclosing anyone. And if you don't do that, I will be reading just your first name. So if you don't want me to like say who is it from, I will just say, let's say $10 from anonymous, from someone anonymous who wanted to stay anonymous. Okay, like this. So let's get to the PayPal and I will mention all the donations. So let's begin from the previous stream, because right after the previous stream, but I received a donation. It was 100 pounds. Yes, British pounds. Pounds, probably. Right pronunciation of it. Just a second. Okay. Going there and doing what? And checking it. Yes, so 100 pounds from David. I won't say the second name. It was you look tried this for anti-drone. I guess it probably was you look tired, because I was tired in the end of the previous stream. Not like on this one in the beginning of the stream. But yeah, this for anti-drone. So 100 pounds is gonna be added to the jar today. And yes, Cheryl Waitley, who has the same nickname there in the chat. This is why I'm pronouncing the whole name. Just sent $20. Thank you very much. So let's begin from the previous stream. 100 pounds from David. Thank you very much, David, for what you sent on the previous stream. And Hill sent $40 about 2 days ago. And the next one is pretty awesome, guys. Frankie and Cohen sent $104.22. And I'm gonna be donating these ones to, gonna be adding them to the jar today too. I'm glad that Frankie and Cohen supported this fundraiser. Thank you very much, guys. You're amazing. If you don't know who Frankie and Cohen is, they are two volunteers from Netherlands, my friends. They are coming to Ukraine and feeding people for free. They are bakers. They do French fries and fricandel, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, these are snacks. Yeah, let's call them snacks. They do those snacks and they feed people for free on deoccupied territories. Frankie and Cohen are amazing people, and I'm happy that I've met them. They are really awesome, and they are supporting our fundraiser today too. So $40 from Cinnamon. Mushroom Manny, who's not here with us today, he had some stuff to do, so he tried to excuse him that he's not going to be with us on the stream, but no excuses needed. It's actually pretty hard to get every stream, you know. So $50 were sent from Mushroom Manny. Then now, okay. So Little Dickens was sending $20. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Given the comment, donation for anti-drone from Little Dickens. Okay, thank you for that comment. So Mikkel sent 27.97. Lynn sent 36.22, and Cheryl Waitley sent $20. Awesome, great job, guys. Thank you very much for your donations. Now we're, I'm as always hoping to reach the goal of $1,000 during the stream. So I will be happy if we're gonna do that today. Okay, so also I just received some coffees. Lady Bloomer sent 50 coffees saying for Medkit. So it's to Halina. Okay, got it. I will be sending these 50 coffees on Wednesday or, the next one. Also, $52 more from Buy Me Coffee are going today, going to this fundraiser too. Yes. Thank you very much, Lady Bloomer. You're amazing. Suzanne, I guess it's you, right? If I'm not mistaken. You have a couple of profiles. Okay. Okay. 50 coffees for the med kits, 13 coffees from Steven. No PayPal available yet, but will become Heimers again soon, as well as donate to fund end of August. Thank you very much, Steven. 5 coffees from Yuri, Slava Rick, thank you very much, and Heroem Slava. Because I consider it Slava Ukraini when you say Slava Rick. Okay. Thank you very much for donations. Also, I missed another 5 coffees from Lynn S. Thank you very much, Lynn, without any comment. Okay, moving on to what? And let me, yes. Sorry, guys. I see 171 people. That's a lot. Thank you for being here, guys. And please don't forget to like the stream if you haven't done it yet. So I see 161 like. We can definitely do 200. I will be really grateful. I see 180 people on YouTube right now. So it's even more than Streamlabs is showing to me. Okay, so let's move on. Dylan's gonna be with us in just 6 minutes, so I need to read your chat real quick. Rick 93rd shot down a Russian plane. Awesome. What plane? Is it Su-25 or some Su-34? What plane is it today? Because I missed some news today. Not Moscow being bombed, of course. Also, I saw the question from someone out there, from GZA. Rick, can you explain the excitement from Ukrainian people on the news of the drones attacks on Moscow? It would be great if Ukraine sent 50 drones at once towards Russia. Yeah, I must say that these are amazing news, and it is something that gives us, joy, because we're not bombing civilians. You have seen the documents being fallen off that windows on that tower in Moscow. The governmental documents, they have offices there. Russian structure, political structure, but not only. All their government apparatus, I don't know if you use that word, guys, but you know what I mean. They're being, they're terroristic government. They do all kinds of terroristic acts, but what? Damn it! Where am I getting carried away? What the hell? Okay, so Russian government is and their structures, their governmental offices and all that stuff, they are actually a legitimate target for our military because they are the enemy and their state is operating against Ukraine. And yeah, there's nothing bad with it. If someone says that it was an attack on civilians, it's total bullshit because they actually, Russians, they've been showing it on their media that they use the malls, the shopping malls there in Russia for producing drones, Lancets, for example. You know, Lancet, the famous Russian drone that's been doing a lot of trouble to our military. It's been used by, oh shit, it's been produced, not used. Sorry guys, tired. I told you about that already. But but yes, it's been produced in the shopping malls. Russians are using those shopping malls to produce drones. This is why I think there were a lot of diversions last year in the shopping malls, and they've been burning a lot because Russians are using them to produce their weapons there. Their drone systems, their kamikaze drone systems in particular, and it's been targeted, and it's great, and more drones will be going to Russia because it's a natural process. As Zelensky said it today, it's a natural process. When you invade some country, you gotta expect that I guess my Streamlabs is bugged because it's unbugged. Nice. I see 95 people at the moment on the stream. It's a great result. Thank you very much for being here, guys. And please, yeah, okay, lag. It was a lag, so my internet connection is being shit again. I'm sorry, guys. I need to sort this shit out. I know what to do, but yes, it requires some construction. I need to make a hole in one wall to make this connection wired, but not Wi-Fi connection, so the stream will be coming more stable. And yeah, refresh the stream, says Anhil. Just reload the stream. Yeah, guys, got out and back in, fixed it. Okay, guys, the stream is okay now. Happens to everyone. Okay, guys, thank you. Thank you for the support. Guys, I'm really sorry if I accidentally deleted your comments, says Charlie. Yeah, that happens to some of you mods. I'm just kidding. Okay, so let me check. Check what? Let me check, because it's only 1 minute before Dylan joins us, and he will be joining through Streamlabs. This is why I will see it right here when he joins us. So let's see. Thank you very much, Domi, again for $109.89. Very generous. Thank you, Domi. Okay, Domi. What are we talking? What I was talking about? Yes, the Moscow. Let's probably go there on Telegram, on the news I saved, and maybe I'll show you some videos from it. Yes, let's watch it. Let's begin from the juiciest news of this week. So that's how it looks. Yeah, you see I guess 2 floors were damaged. Here are the documents. If you guys know Russian, some of you probably, you could see that it is talking about the Ministry of Digital Development of Russian Federation, and also here we see a strategic development and national projects, something like that. And here on the video, Russians are actually discussing it themselves. They are saying that these are the valuable things for Russia. Yeah, something like that. And Dylan just joined us. Just a second. Dylan, can you hear me? Check, check. Sorry, just need to switch the screen. Yes, Dylan's here. Hi, Dylan.
Hi, can you hear me good?
Yes, pretty well. What about me?
Hi, happy to be here.
Yeah, same, man. Actually, we see you, but you're looking somewhere in the screen, but not in the camera. Yes.
Oh, do you want me to look over here? I can look over here.
No, it's totally fine. You can do whatever you want, man. It's not okay. It's totally informal in here. I swear a lot so you know, and I don't have any rules or regulations, so we just go with the flow in here. So nice to meet you, Dylan.
Nice to meet you too. I know you messaged me after the my episode on Good Morning Kiev. Are you good friends with the people behind the show?
What was the question? Sorry.
I know you reached out to me
Yeah.
after I went on Good Morning Kiev. Are you good friends with the people behind that show?
Yes, I am. That's the question. Am I a good friend? Yes, I'm a friend of Andrew and now Alex and Starsky. Yeah, so I was on the show on one of the, yeah, on seventh day, I guess, or somewhere there. So I was there too. I was in your shoes there. So it was a cool show, definitely.
It's a cool idea. A morning show centered on English language Ukrainian news. I mean, I don't know of anybody else that does a morning show actually on the war. He saw a slot and he filled it. It was very smart of him.
Yeah, pretty cool. So Dylan, you jumped in suddenly, and I was a bit like, how do you call this? I'm not a native speaker, so I'll be asking you some words time to time.
It's fine.
So yeah, so you maybe want to tell us, and I know that a lot of people know you there in the chat, but
Mhm.
some of you maybe don't. And actually, I would love to, to know more about you and to know your story. What's your background? What are your adventures here in Ukraine? I've heard some. I watched the morning show with you. I know that, some of the stories that you told people there. But anyway, please tell us about yourself, man.
Sure. So my name's Dylan Burns. I am a freelance war journalist. That means I'm not signed with, say, CNN or MSNBC or any of the big cable news outlets. I publish the vast majority of the stuff that I film or document with myself on my own channels, either on Twitter, Instagram, on my YouTube channel, stuff like that. I do this for a few reasons. Number one, I'm quite young, so I don't have a ton of like ties deep into the media establishment. Not that I particularly want those ties, but that's part of the reason why I'm motivated to do that. But I'm also motivated to do it because it gives me more creative control. So if I want to spend 30 minutes talking to one person about their family tragedy in relation to the war, I won't have to like slam a bunch of Tampax commercials in the middle of it, right? I can take as much time as I want to, and I don't need to cut to commercial or cut it short when I think the conversation needs more depth. That's why I do shows like I do projects like Ukraine Uncensored, where I do like an hour and a half to 2 hour conversation with people who have faced the war down in some way, whether they're an aid worker, a soldier, or some other type of volunteer. I first got involved in reporting on the war right when the 2022 invasion happened. I was too young when the original invasion happened back in 2014. I was 13 at the time, so I'm sorry I wasn't there, but I was only 13. There's not really much you could do. But once this invasion happened, I didn't necessarily expect it. I knew it was a possibility, but once it happened, I wanted to make sure it got as much attention as possible on my channel, since I concentrate on foreign affairs and foreign policy on my YouTube channel quite frequently. And I made a pretty enough penny. I made a few $1,000s at the very least, covering it in the first month. And I decided that I want to reinvest the money that I've made back into my coverage to improve it. And I made the decision, or I came to the conclusion, that the best way to improve my coverage was to be here on the ground. And I believed enough in the defense of Ukraine and Ukrainian democracy that I felt like it was worth the risk to be able to get people that on the ground view. I also believe that journalism is the first draft of history. And so if I want to make sure that things are properly documented, I can hope that somebody's going to be there to take the pictures, but I'd rather just be sure. And so I want to be there myself to document as much as I see as possible.
Mhm. Yeah, that's actually awesome. And I have a question. So you were interested in politics and geopolitics since when? Since when you was like what?
Very, very young, very young. I probably first got my interest in middle school. I first started looking at foreign policy. It was with the Syrian civil war. I would use
Mhm.
open source intelligence, I think, in late middle school, early high school, to try to follow the war day by day, see where the troops are moving, particularly the anti-ISIS campaign of the SDF, the Syrian Democratic Forces. And from there, I studied international relations at the University of Maryland for a brief period of time. And that's when I really got bitten by an interest in foreign policy and foreign affairs. And ever since then, I've just been studying a lot independently. I've worked for a few campaigns to advise them on the topic. But yeah, I have a deep interest in foreign affairs.
That's cool. That's actually very interesting. And I still haven't heard how old were you when you started being interested
Oh,
at
I don't know,
first.
14, maybe 15.
14. Yeah, that's something I actually um, kind of figured out since your morning show interview. But yeah, that's it. So okay,
Yeah, I'm very young for this field of work.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm the youngest. I doubt I'm the youngest domestic reporter in the country. But I haven't met any foreign reporters that are younger than me yet. I'm 22 at the moment. I started reporting in Ukraine when I was 21. But if there are, there's not many. I'm very young for this type of work.
That's cool. I actually have been checking just a couple of videos from your channel. From I guess they were cutouts from the streams you do, and I heard that you do pretty long streams and you fight Russian propaganda, and not only, but some pro-Russian propaganda and all that stuff you fight there on your streams. And I feel like I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, you didn't interrupt me. I have two channels. I have my second channel, Dylan Burns Live. That's where I repost all my stream content. Just daily news. I could be talking from anything from, contraceptive issues all the way to a lot of times the war in Ukraine. I do confront a lot of Russian propaganda. I At the start of the war, I felt like it was less necessary than it is now. But
Hmm.
as the war has gone on, and I think that a lot of the political backlash has somewhat died down, a lot of propagandists and a lot of liars have taken advantage of, I think, the less attention to try to like slip in
Yeah,
disinformation or slip in these narratives. I think one of the clearest example, and I said this on Good Morning Kiev as well, is Tucker Carlson. This is somebody
yeah,
who's lied about the war multiple times, saying that Christians are being arrested for being Christian, that the Ukrainians blew up the Novikhovka Dam, that for every one Ukrainian soldier, for every Russian soldier that dies, 7 Ukrainian soldiers die. And he was the host of the most popular cable news show in the United States, right? So
yep,
as much as I understand some of my colleagues who will tell me, Dylan, you shouldn't give this stuff attention. They're all liars. They're not being honest with you. It's not about convincing the propagandists. You can't convince a propagandist.
yeah,
It's making sure that when people search up the war, search up an issue, uh, that they're going to not just get a propagandist lying to them, but hopefully some, maybe some source material from my main channel or me on the second channel talking about actually this isn't correct. Let's look at some other sources. Let's look at some photographic evidence. Let's look at some videos.
yeah.
If this stuff is going to exist in the world, it's going to be out there. Someone has to deal with it.
Yeah, I guess all those narratives they must be opposed with some truth, with some real information, and this is the only way to show them. I mean, sh to show to people that they are just lying narratives. You know, that they don't have any background beneath them or behind them. Yeah. Uh, do you think so?
I think that a lot of people, I think that a lot of people are very trusting. And after being on social media for so long, people are very quick to just trust anything that they see. And I don't think that's because they're all just like idiots or something like that. Oh, everybody's an idiot and they're falling for the dumbest of tricks. Some of them are, but a lot of them, I believe, when they see these messages on Twitter or they see this information online, they kind of, when they see this, they're trusting of people because why would somebody lie about something as disgusting as the Bucha massacre? Why
Yeah.
would somebody lie about something as disgusting as this? But I think what really gets me about it is that this has been a tactic of the Russian government. And that's aside from the people who are just trying to be a contrarian for money or people who are, agree with maybe the more theocratic notions of the Russian government. But a lot of people, I think, don't understand that the Russian government has been investing in for years and years and years in
Oh, yeah.
disinformation campaigns, whether it be the Internet Research Agency or the literature that is taught in the Russian military. I mean, Alexander Dugin is a lot of times overemphasized in the amount of influence and power he has. I
Yeah.
think a lot of Western journalists kind of pretend he's like puppeteering Putin. I think that's nonsense. What I do know, though, is that his book, The Foundation for Geopolitics, which is taught in the Russian Military Academy, explicitly states that it cannot destroy the United States in a head on struggle. And so the best thing he could do is try to cause as much discontent and division within society as possible. This means promoting extremist groups, promoting racial division, and also, more often than not, disinformation. Even better
Yeah.
if that disinformation not only causes division within American society, but it also could benefit Russian geostrategic interests, like chemical weapons are going to be used by the Ukrainians, these biological weapons that target Russian DNA, like stuff like that, which has also been repeated by people like Robert Kennedy Jr., RFK, who's running on the campaign trail right now. So, but this disinformation has a way of seeping up into a lot of contrarian political actors in the American political scene. So that's why I feel like we need to confront it, because it's not like this is just passively happening, like people are just lying for lying's sake. A lot of it is very, I mean, it's all nefarious because it's a lie, but it's particularly nefarious because they're lying on behalf of an authoritarian force invading another country illegally, and they want to benefit their geostrategic interests.
Yep. Yep. And I must say, listening to you, I realized that you know about the stuff and you realize and understand how it works much better than me, man. So I must say that it is something I'm also getting from your speech about this. Thank you. Thank you. It's actually very interesting, and I didn't realize some of it. But I must say, yeah, it's been pretty worrying lately for the last, I don't know, half a year, especially when those politicians of yours, those MAGA Republicans and all of those dudes, when they were saying that we need to stop supporting Ukraine and we need to negotiate with Putin, and of course the biggest I don't know, idiot of them, Donald Trump, who said, I can do it just in 2 days, you know. I So when when he was just doing that shit, it's all we know that American people, most of the American people stand before you. Oh, sorry, stand with Ukraine, yes, and you guys really understand for what are we fighting for, and you know that it's actually not only the freedom of Ukraine is at stake, but the freedom of the whole Europe. And actually, I would say that if Russia wins in this war, then the whole world will change because all those tyrants, all those autocratic regimes, they will think. I mean, not think. They will realize that they can invade any country and they will get away with it. That it is just like the 20th century, where you can just invade anyone. Or before that, you know, all the history of humanity is only invasions and all that shit. So it will affect all the world, and all the world will definitely be facing some new crazy invasions and some new total wars, just like this one. I guess you probably
In
realize this and have something to add to this.
in the Republican Party, there was a vote recently on trying basically to try to stop aid to Ukraine. It wasn't just in the Republican Party. It was like a complete. I think it was a House floor vote. Not a single Democrat voted in favor of it. One third of the Republican Party voted in favor of it. Now, it's bad that one third of the Republican Party voted in favor of it, but I think we also need to keep in mind that that MAGA crowd, the very anti-Ukraine, anti-aid crowd, they're still a very vocal minority. And I
Yeah.
think part of the reason that they can be a vocal minority is because there's not much pressure on them to stop being a vocal minority. If this was a situation where, let's say, it was like a 55 to 45 vote, or it was a lot closer, I would expect that a lot of lobbyists and a lot of people within the party, like Mitch McConnell or others, would be a lot more stringent and a lot more strict about exactly how they're dealing with this. But currently, it's a vocal minority who's not really having much, if any, legislative effect. And so I think it's largely going unattended to, most certainly by the Democrats, because the Democrats aren't the issue. There was one letter released by Democrats that somewhat suggested kind of making a deal with Putin, and immediately it was retracted afterwards. So the Democratic Party is not really the issue. It is the Republican Party that seems to be the main issue. But I think a lot of it's motivated by the fact that, again, it's a small faction, and so since it doesn't really have much of a chance of succeeding, the Republican leadership doesn't have much of an impetus to go down and strike them down. That doesn't mean it can't have a disinformation effect, which I think it almost certainly is having. While you say, and I do agree with you, that the majority of Americans agree with the fight for Ukrainian democracy, agree with what the Ukrainians are fighting for, I don't necessarily know that most Americans know a lot of the details. I'll give you an example. I don't know if you're familiar with Charlie Kirk, but Charlie Kirk is somebody who works with a American political organization by the name of Turning Point USA, a very popular conservative American commentator. And I was watching his show, I think 4 or 5 months ago. Not that I particularly enjoy his show, but I guess I hate myself. And I was watching his show 4 or 5 months ago. And during the end of it, he started talking about Ukraine. And he said something along the lines of like, man, it's bad that Russia invaded or whatever, but are the Ukrainian people really like are they fighting for like American style democracy? Are they fighting? Do they understand these values? Do they understand
Hmm.
any of this stuff? And he was basically throwing into question the idea that Ukrainians were really, it almost sounded like he was throwing up to question the idea that Ukrainians were ready for real civilization, real democracy, any of these like real issues. That's what it felt like, at least. But if you were to sit down and talk to Charlie Kirk and ask him, what were the values that Euromaidan was fought over? What was going down in 2014 before Euromaidan? How much did anti-corruption efforts motivate this? How much did a desire for liberal style democracy motivate this? I don't think he understands that. I think a lot of people have just started to check into a war that Ukrainians have been tuned into ever since it started to kick off in 2014. And so a lot of people don't know this history. And I think that needs to be one of the main goals of Ukraine-related content creators online, is to stress that history. Because if you don't stress that history, then it's going to be really easy for the Russians to come in and say, out of nowhere, this whole war just kind of popped out of the sky because NATO expansion, and they're boxing us in. If you understand the history, then you're going to understand Ukrainian desire for NATO membership much more. And I think it's going to help make the case better for Ukraine.
Yeah, you're totally right, man. And I must say, I I know the history because I'm from Makivka, Donetsk region. It's, the satellite city to Donetsk, and I witnessed the first invasion in 2014 and the occupation. I lived in occupation for about 4 years, and I know all that shit and how Russia operates. I've already shared some experience with people, and of course about Maidan. I must say that I wasn't there on Maidan when it happened. I was in Donetsk, but we also had our Maidans there, and we had the protests against Russia there, and first victims, as you know, were there on those protests. First killing by Russia's Titushki. Do you know who Titushki is?
Yeah, they're basically like armed thugs that the Russian government paid to go be violent towards the protests and provoke
Yes,
incidents so they could justify a police response. It'd be like
yes.
if Joe Biden decided to hire MS-13 to go put down a MAGA rally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's it. That's what was happening in 2014, and they were just killing us Ukrainians there. Those pro-Russian thugs, and those pro-Russian thugs, they are thugs. They will do anything to get the power. So Russians were doing what? They were just giving them power, the positions in the occupational government, probably. They were just given power to those thugs, and they have no principles. They will do anything. This is how actually so-called civil war. I don't even say it because it's a Russian narrative. They staged it. They really made people believe that that what happened back there in 2014, but we didn't want it. And I know that I'm jumping from a topic to topic in my current monologue. But anyway, I want to say that I'm from a generation of people uh, born and raised here in Ukraine, and I feel myself self Ukrainian. And all those now I realize that Russia always, like since 1991, it wanted to make us a part of Russia again, part of that Soviet Union, the damn empire. They never wanted to, they pretended that they are friends with us, but all they wanted is to make us the part of their Soviet Union again. They worked for decades for that. Damn it, I'm really how do you call it when you don't follow the point that you
Yeah, you're brain farting a bit. That's all.
I'm just very tired for the last week. Been feeling like I'm burning out. And today I'm exhausted. This is why I'm not really good at interviewing. And I'm not good at interviewing at all because I'm not a journalist. I'm just a streamer here and just a Ukrainian citizen who wants to help his country. Yeah, sorry, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I got this mic's great because I can just you can see when I'm actually like trying
Yes.
to get in. It's fantastic. I love this dinky little Polish mic. I started just streaming on Twitch. I started when I was 18 streaming. I've been streaming for almost, oh my God, is it going on 5 years now?
That's crazy.
Oh my God, really? I feel old, but I'm 22. So I
Yeah.
messed up. The thing is, that's something I love to emphasize though. When I say I feel old, then everybody that's older than me, I make them feel even older. So
Yeah.
I put down other people, and that helps me keep my ego up. But I started streaming in like in 2000. I think it was yeah, it was right at the start of 2020. I'm going on 4 or 5 years now, and that transitioned into this war journalism that I'm doing. I honestly think that it's really not that difficult for anyone to really be a journalist. I've seen so many Ukrainians that were at the start of this war, they had no interest in journalism, kind of transform into journalists out of a feeling of they want to make sure future generations see what really happened and don't let other people write Ukrainian history for Ukrainians, right? As in like the Russians, because that's how the Russians have always tried to write Ukrainian history. They've tried to write it for the Ukrainians. So, because
Yep.
if you control the history and you control the historical narrative, you can help control the future. And that was always the point of it. That was the whole point of the brotherly nations and all one Slavic people and the little Russian narrative. And so I understand like, oh, I'm a streamer, I can't interview people, but I think that you can hold yourself to a journalistic standard. Definitely, if you're interviewing people, that's journalism, right?
Yeah, it is. You're right. I just want to, damn it, to prevent the awkwardness by apologizing and saying that I'm tired and I all that stuff. Um, I thought about us not doing an interview, but just a conversation. Maybe you have some questions for me as a Ukrainian. I know that you've seen a lot of shit being here in Ukraine. You've been um, to Kherson, right?
Mm.
You've experienced some shelling too. I've also seen the interview that you did with your friend Anastasia Paraskevova. A great
The one I
one.
released yesterday.
Yes, this one. I watched it today. Not all
I'm
of it.
so happy about that video that I got it out because that
Yeah,
video was in the pre-production process for over a year, and it was because I was having so much turnover with my editors. Because making the transition from being just a streamer who's like hosting debates on the internet and debating people to doing this type of work, the type of editing is very different, and the type of editors I need. I mean, I think I went through 2 or 3 editors before I landed on the one that I'm on now. That's really doing it well. So I'm happy I got to revisit it. But I'm also happy to release that for 2 reasons. The first reason, and I've seen not a lot because the video didn't do as well as my other videos, which I expected because it's not like a hard hitting like military and fight. It's a personal story.
yeah,
But on one thing I'm happy about it is because people don't know how bad it got in Kharkiv. I think a lot of
yeah,
people don't know how bad the shelling was in Kharkiv, how the Russians tried to take the city, because they expected the city to just fall in the first day or two. And then once that failed, they then just shelled the city relentlessly, almost as if it was retribution for daring to object to being annexed. And I wanted to make sure that people saw from not the perspective of the soldier who was launching the counteroffensive, but I am going to be releasing an interview in the near future with a Kraken commander who's at the forefront of the Kharkiv counteroffensive. So I am going to show that as well. But I wanted to show the civilian perspective in that video because that is not as much covered. But the other thing that I'm really happy about is that I got to permanently put on record on a story in that interview, which was very personal. Because I'm always fearful that if something's not documented, if something's not made public, if something's not put online, then we're going to lose crucial information that just fades from the history books. That this person's story isn't going to be documented, so therefore it can't be talked about by historians or their family members 30, 40, 50, 60 years in the future. So I want to always record everything. And if somebody is going to share that type of a deep personal story with me, I want to just show a tiny microcosm of the type of pain that this war has brought to people. So the video didn't do too well because it's just not good for the algorithm. Putting the Russians murdered my father, that's just not, advertisers are not going to like that. YouTube's not going to push that very well. But I wanted to go with that title because I needed to be blunt about it. But it was more of a passion project and more of a I wanted to make sure it was recorded. But I'm very happy with that video. I hope people go watch it. It's on my YouTube channel. It's my last video just released on Dylan Burns TV.
I actually will say to people that you guys gotta check it. The link is in description. Yes, I've put it before the stream. I usually am not that organized and I do it all during the stream. But this time I finally added the link before the stream, so you can guys go check it. Probably not right now because you will lose us in here. Maybe not, who knows, if you open the other tab, but okay, that's not the case. The case is that this interview is amazing, and especially when Anastasia is getting emotional there, you feel that her story is real, and that the pain that she's suffering because she lost her father there in one of the shellings, and this is something.
What really bothered me when I was in Mykolaiv, and I said this on Good Morning Kiev as well, so this is the first time I've said this, but something that really bothered me when I was in Mykolaiv is that it was the first time I had ever seriously been shelled. I had been chased up to that point, I've been chased by a Russian drone, and I've had some other experiences, but I never got shelled to the point where the shells were falling within very close, 50 feet, 40 feet. The Russians started shelling in response to the Kherson counteroffensive. I was in the city during the start of the Kherson counteroffensive. Actually, I didn't even believe it was really happening because I don't know if you remember or people were remember that much because there's just so much information with this war. But in the lead up to the Kherson counteroffensive, there's a lot of questions of is this really going to happen? Is there really going to be a counteroffensive? Is this all a psyop? And then after the Kharkiv counteroffensive, that speculation increased because some people thought, oh, maybe the whole Kherson counteroffensive was just a diversion so the Ukrainians could break through Kharkiv. And there was a lot of speculation. And eventually, by the time I was in Kherson, I'm not in Kherson, but I was in Mykolaiv, the internet was basically saying that, oh, it was all fake. It was all an illusion. And so when I was there to film a hospital that had been bombed and a medical ward that had been bombed by the Russians, afterwards we go to this little restaurant, and while I was sitting in there, I get a message yo, the counteroffensive just started from a contact in the military. And I'm like, bullshit. I just don't believe him. I'm just he's fucking with me. He's lying. Then I get another text, then another text. And then I'm like, okay, maybe there's something. And then the news bulletins start coming out. I'm like, damn, are we going to continue to do this aid delivery we wanted to do? Are we going to continue to film? Does this change our filming practices? And as we walked outside, the entire city center started to get shelled. And when I say the entire city center, I mean the entire city center. Because no matter where we ran to, the shelling followed us. We jumped in our van after a few shells fell very close to us. We're hitting apartment blocks near us and in a civilian area during 3, 4 p.m. So people were getting off of work. Very dangerous time for the Russians to be shelling the civilians. Whether that was on purpose or not, obviously, I don't know. But we would run away to another area. We'd get out of the car, and then the shelling would start hitting there. And inevitably, not inevitably, but eventually it was I think 14 civilians were injured, 3 were killed. And at the end of the day, I was a little shaken up. And then I take out my phone and look at the news bulletin, and it just says, shelling in Mykolaiv, 15 injured, 3 dead. And that's all that would be in the historical record if there was no photographs, if there was no video. But at least to me, I did film. And so there was at least something to document what that type of shelling was like. And so that's why I think that's a good that's the story I'm trying to use to get across, like, why I think this is important and why I did the Anastasia video, is because there's so much coldness in how we deal with these very human stories. There's not really a very human element to them. Like, that 3 number doesn't talk about, like, whether that was somebody's father, whether that was somebody's son. Do they have a wife? Do they have kids? Are those kids no longer going to have a dad? Can that family now support itself? How do they feel? None of that is included in that, like, 1 sentence news report. And that's why I believe so much in freelance war journalism, because if you have enough freelancers interviewing people, then you get a lot more of these stories, and you get a lot more of a human element, because we don't have to concentrate on just fitting our entire news segment into 3 minutes. We can take the time to learn how this tragedy has affected these families. And that's what I wanted to do with the Anna video.
Yeah, you're totally right, Dylan. And I must say that even as a Ukrainian, I see the news almost every day the same way. A lot of shellings and a lot of deaths been just numbers in here. So yeah, there were some photos, but all those stories that are behind each death and behind each family that's been experiencing those shellings and rocket strikes, they're getting lost there, and just there are so many every day. We have around 3 to 6 reports about shelling and death, like at least, I don't know, 10 people dying every day, and behind every death there's a story and there's a tragedy. And I really like your approach, and I like your views in this, and thank you very much for what you're doing, and thank you for filming those.
I do feel bad, though, about what I'm doing sometimes, because I always feel like I could be doing more, because I'm a very small operation, right? I'm a freelancer. I don't have CNN. I don't have MSNBC behind me. And so I try to film as much as possible, because, the war only lasts, for however many years. And then after it's over, you can't document any more of it. And so if it wasn't documented, the history books, it didn't happen, right? Whether it happened or not, if you didn't document it, then the history books 100 years from now, it will never happen. And when you think about it that way, and you look at, like, all the wars in human history and all the atrocities that happened, something that really scares me is, I remember reading one report from I forget exactly where it was, but it was a German friend of mine by the name of Kraut. He's a YouTuber as well, who told me that statistically, probably every single German soldier on the Eastern Front either witnessed and or participated in war crimes. But there's not nearly as much documented video or photographic evidence of that as you would think on that scale. Maybe it was technological constraints. They did film some of it. They did document it with paperwork, but the photographs and the videos, it just does not stack up to the scale, because we're talking about millions upon millions upon millions upon millions upon millions, tens of millions of people murdered and slaughtered. And maybe 20,000 videos might sound like a lot, but that's 20,000 stories out of 20 million stories, right? And so the idea of losing that wealth of humanity to just like statistics on a piece of paper, that terrifies me. And so when I go out and I film with somebody, a lot of times we'll get footage and we'll just like, we don't know how to use this. We'll go to a home, it's bombed out, we film there, but it just doesn't fit into one of our bigger pieces. And I always feel terrible when I don't release that, because there's just nothing I can do with it. Because I know that a lot of these people are dying to get their stories out to the world. One of the concerns people had when I first came to Ukraine is some people were scared that I would like go out and like harass Ukrainians, like stuff like mics in their face and be like, give me all the information on the war. And I wouldn't do it, with a human touch. But in my experience, it's almost like anytime I go with the camera anywhere, people run up to me to just start randomly telling me stuff. That happened in Bucha. A very old religious woman came up to us and just started telling us about what it was like under Russian occupation. But sometimes it doesn't work into the bigger pieces, or we only have one editor. So if we have like 20 videos, right, and one editor, we got to be very careful with what we pick. And so eventually I want to release everything, even if it's just on a YouTube channel that's public and has like 1 or 2 or 3 views. I want to make sure that it's somewhere, that if I like blew up tomorrow or something, that this footage would be somewhere, that this historical record would be somewhere. So I gotta work on releasing like the bulk of everything I have, because who knows? Maybe I see something that's not that important, but 5 years from now, to that family, it's paramount that they want to see what their house was like during the war, how it was destroyed, or the type of damage that was done to it.
Yeah, you totally right, and damn, you have a great approach and the vision of it all. I am impressed with your every answer to my questions and with each of your stories. But I also wanted to notice the chat because they've been bombing us with questions, and especially you. And I just wanted, before that, before the questions, I wanted to mention that we have more people than in the beginning of the stream. And I wanted to say hello to every new person who's on the stream, who's probably came from Dylan's community. We are raising funds on every stream for the equipment for the armed forces of Ukraine. We currently are raising funds for the anti-drone system for the first brigade of the National Guard of Ukraine called Burevii. They need this system because they are on Kupiansk direction currently, and it's been crazy how much artillery strikes been there on their positions. Everything is being just destroyed by shellings. All the trenches, all the, how do you call those? Okay, all the shit. Blindage we call in here. Can you help me with that one, Dylan? Because you know
Which word are you looking for?
blindage. You've heard it. This one from soldiers.
Uh,
No,
I have
haven't
not.
you?
No,
Okay,
no.
so
See, I have this problem where when someone starts talking, have you ever watched? Are you familiar with Charlie Brown by any chance? The American show,
no,
American movies.
I don't think so.
Well, for the American viewers watching you, they'll know who Charlie Brown is. But anytime someone speaks in a foreign language, and I'm desperately trying to learn Ukrainian, but I
Yeah.
suck at it. Anytime someone starts speaking in a foreign language, it just like it complete. I lose any ability to tell what they're saying. It becomes completely this gobbledygook. In Charlie Brown, the adults in it, anytime they're talking, they sound like wah 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 wah. Like you can't hear anything they're saying, and that's what it's
Yeah.
like when I'm trying to listen to Ukrainian. And I'm sitting there like, what does that word mean? What does that word mean? And they'll tell me, and I'll forget it 5 seconds later. It's impossible. So
Okay.
whatever word you're saying, I consider me an illiterate child.
Okay, Dylan, got it. So no Ukrainian.
No
But
Ukrainian. I've learned more Polish from driving with Polish aid workers. Only cuss words though, nothing else. From like
got
hitting
it.
bumps in the road and stuff.
But getting back to the fundraiser, I need to mention that we do it in two ways. We have the monobank link. My dear moderators are constantly posting it in the chat. You can donate directly by this link, or you can direct donate to my PayPal. And on the PayPal, I will what I do, I receive money during the stream, and in the end of the stream, I sum them up and I send them to the fundraiser jar. We call them jars in here. It's Monobank. They've created this jar. It has a goal. In this case, we have a goal of 360,000 hryvnias, which is more than $9,000, I think. Yeah, almost $10,000. This anti-drone system is pretty expensive. So you can donate to my PayPal. It's my mail. It's rick.carl1842 then at gmail.com. It's been constantly posted there in the chat by the moderators. So I will appreciate all the donations that you are willing or can send. It is all transparent. We send them to the fundraiser jar here on the stream from my PayPal. Thank you very much for all who donated. I just wanted to quickly mention the donations that I received when we were talking, Dylan. Just a second. It was Chris Lunday, $50. Yeah, I've noticed all the other donations. During the latest streams, we've been raising around $1,000. So I have it as a goal during the stream It's a great result. I'm really grateful for everyone who's donating. Currently, we have $625.92. It's still about the halfway to 1,000. So, guys, please, it will help our soldiers a lot because they are struggling with the enemy drones. Russians been using many more drones than before. They are actually equal to with us, with our army, in terms, not in terms, but in the number of drones. They are currently using FPV drones, as many of them as our army is using. This is why we need to uh, I don't know. At least I feel for myself that I need to double the efforts to raise more funds for the army. And I saw the question, but I definitely lost it right now because it was like half an hour ago. But we have a great question chat there on Discord. So yeah, that's it for now. So guys, if you're willing to donate, I'd be really grateful, and our soldiers will be grateful too. You know that. So let's get to the questions. First is gonna be from GZA 160. Rick and Dylan, why do you think when Russia loses territory in Ukraine, they call it a goodwill gesture? Why can't they admit that they suck? Also, why so much nuke talk from Russia? Dylan, please answer this question.
I mean, I think it's that, and this isn't, they don't just do it with a goodwill gesture. They do it in a few ways. I think one of the dumbest ways that they've done it is by talking about NATO soldiers. I remember during the Kharkiv counteroffensive when the Russian front was just collapsing, and it did just collapse around Kharkiv. Their front line was thin, and the people they had staffing it were not fantastic, and they were unable to stop the Ukrainian advance, which was extremely rapid. And at the time, it was very humiliating for Putin because it wasn't just that they had to pull back from Kiev. Now they're having to pull back from Kharkiv. Is this a harbinger of things to come? Is more counteroffensives going to come? They did come, but that was something that was very terrifying for the regime. And how did they explain this embarrassing military failure? Well, what they came up with is that they weren't fighting Ukrainians in Kharkiv. They were fighting NATO soldiers in Kharkiv, and you saw it on Solenyev's show. You saw it on the with the head of RT talking about it. You saw it in a bunch of different programs. I know Kim.com repeated it in Western circles. They were actually just straight up posting footage from Sivdiv's channel, the YouTuber who's he's a foreign fighter in Ukraine, and just claimed that it was NATO soldiers, even though they were international legionnaires. And in the original YouTube video, it would say that, but they would just rip it, take out all the context, and say NATO soldiers. And I think the reason why is that if they were to admit that the Ukrainians can actually beat them, that the Ukrainians can beat them in battle, that the Ukrainians are willing to push hard and fight hard for their own national liberation, then that would be an admission that, well, number one, not only that they didn't really want the liberation all that much, because if the Ukrainians are pushing them back and fighting hard against the most powerful Russian army, they must really not like you. And you can get your ass beat by the Ukrainians, which is a scary concept for a nation that went into this war thinking it would only last a week. And so if they admit that they can lose to the Ukrainians and that the Ukrainians are actually fighting this hard and that the Russians actually can lose, then the prospects for the war drastically go down in the eyes of the Russian public. And so they can't admit that. So they have to come up with excuses as to why the Ukrainians are fighting so well. And it's to deny that the Ukrainians are actually doing the ones doing a lot of the fighting, and that the effective fighting is being done by NATO soldiers, and that it's all just because of Western aid, and the Western aid is pushing them to do it. Because if they admit it, then they have to admit that the Ukrainians want them out, and that the Ukrainians can actually beat them, which is scary. And so they're going to say everything they can, including the goodwill gesture stuff. That's also to cover up their mistakes and failures. As for, what was the other part of the question?
Just a sec. Why can they admit that they suck? Yeah, it's obvious, and I guess you answered that too. Also, why so much nuke talk from Russia?
Oh, I think it's just because they've leveraged most of their actual military potential already.
Yep.
I don't even think if the Azerbaijani government was to invade Armenia that they could muster much of a force to respond to. I've said this before, but if Russia was to face another security crisis right now, for example, protests in Kazakhstan, and that might, for some people, that might be like, yeah, but what's the odds that they're going to face multiple security crises at the same time? It was only a few years ago that protests in Kazakhstan froze the whole country and Russian soldiers had to go in to put them down. So the idea of something like that happening again isn't completely outside the realms of possibility at the very least. And I think since they've exhausted most of their military potential, all they have now is the nukes. They have the nukes and trying to scare people with the nukes because they can't actually use the nukes. If they were to actually use the nukes, I'm not saying it's impossible, but if they were, not only would that most likely not lead to the Ukrainians immediately submitting, and they would need to probably launch a lot of nukes, and that comes with its own ecological problems that could affect not only Ukraine, Russia, but all of Europe. And other nation states in Europe are kind of putting in the air that they might consider a nuclear strike if the radiation floats into their territory, a violation of Article 5. But on a basic level, the Chinese don't want them to use the nukes.
Yeah.
The Indians don't want them to use the nukes. They don't want this type of behavior to be normalized. This is one of the few things they could do that it could actually make the Chinese and the Indians agree to a price cap on Russian energy exports. And considering the fact that Russian government profits are down 50% and the amount of spending they've put on into the military is up 200 to 300%, it's hard to me to imagine. It's hard for me to imagine that Russia really thinks that if they were to pull that trigger, they could necessarily deal with the consequences. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I am saying it's quite unlikely. But most nukes are never used. Most weapons are also never used. They're mostly used in negotiations, either to intimidate people or to try to get something out of talks. And so I think what the Russians are doing is they're trying to leverage the nukes to try to slow down American aid and try to make us concede to some of their demands after militarily they've failed outright. I do think it's silly though, because could you imagine like America invades Vietnam and then like 7th year in, we're getting our ass whooped. We're just like, okay, we're flipping the Jenga. We're flipping the Jenga. We're flipping the Monopoly board. We're flipping the chess board. If you don't let us win right now, we're going to blow up the world. Could you imagine pitching that to the Vietnamese? I'm sorry, you have to go. You have to give up. Why? America says that if you don't, everyone dies.
Yeah.
Nobody would take that seriously. But in this case, because we're dealing with the Russian government and Putin has shown through his invasion that he's willing to at least do some crazy things at the very least, we have to take this seriously. But I think it's mostly leverage and negotiations that they're doing this, that they've wasted the rest of their potential. And so they need to engage in basically threats of nuclear terror.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you, and I think the nuke topic is totally bully style. They intimidate everyone. They are bullies, man. They are bidlo, if you heard that word. Have you heard that word, bidlo?
Again, you got to treat me like I'm like a 14th century peasant. I don't know how to read a single word, or I barely know the language.
So they're just street thugs who just will bully you until you fight back. That's how you must deal with Russia, only with brute force. They don't understand anything because they are not even okay. They're not even those special agents. They are criminals. So they all of their background is from criminal world of Russia, and it's not the same as the criminal world of any any other country or any region. It's unique by its I don't know, by its slang. They use that slang in their even on their talk shows. You can say that they're criminals just by them using all those slang. And where I was getting with it. So yeah, probably you definitely answered that question like fully. Thank you very much for that.
I will say about the criminals thing though.
Yeah.
People will be unbelievably shocked, I think, because I think this is something people don't pay a lot of attention to. How much crime and the mafia
Yeah.
and just criminal activity is embedded into the occupation forces, has been embedded in Donetsk and Luhansk
Oh
and
yeah.
the occupation in Crimea for a very long time. The head of the Donetsk Occupation Authority, they're a criminal. They have a history in crime. I think it was when we're talking about Denis Pushilin, we'll talk about MMM
Yeah.
and his scams around that. When you're talking about the head of the Crimean Occupation Authority, there's accusations of involvement in murders and a lot of just like very brutish and thuggish criminal activity. And this isn't only true in the Occupation Authority. This is also just true wider in Russian politics as well. But it's especially true, and I think Russian politics is its most brutal when it's engaged in occupation. And in Ukraine, that's where we're seeing, I think, the most of the criminal activity being involved, the most of these criminals
Yes.
getting positions of power. I mean, Yanukovych, even though he was elected in Ukraine, that's somebody also with a criminal record. Used to be a street thug. Yevgeny Prigozhin, also
Yep.
common street thug who became hot dog vendor and then caterer for the president, which probably just meant money laundering.
Yep.
Again, like criminals all the way up and down.
Yeah, you're totally right. And actually, it's I guess it's the main principle of Russian regime. They entangle everyone in crime, and they have so-called compromat uh, on them. I don't know if you use that word, but some information that they can use against their own people because they are thugs. They just can publish some information of them, and they will be ruined, at least some of them, but not all of them, of course. But yeah, that's how they operate. They are total criminal, and Dylan knows a lot about that, as we just heard. And it's amazing. I actually am. I don't know. I'm impressed how deep you know everything, all of this, and I'm really happy that we have such an ally as you are.
Thank you. I'll annoy you eventually. Don't worry.
Okay, okay. But for now, I wanted to mention all the gifted memberships there in the chat. Thank you very much, guys. You're very generous, and a lot of people are receiving those memberships. So welcome to the membership. The last one was from Ken Patterson. Before that, it was 20 from sorry, Sonke, yes, or Zonke. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly. Sorry, but the last one was 5 gifted from Little Dickens. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate that a lot, and people appreciate that too. I see it in the chat too. So I also received a few donations for our fundraiser from the anti-drone system. One from OCT. OCT, thank you very much. $200, very generous. OCT has been supporting, I don't know, I think every pro-Ukrainian channel and every Ukrainian channel. OCT is a legend, supporting every stream of every us streamer. It's amazing. Thank you so much, OZT. Cinnamon sent another $50 and another $25 from, thank you so much, Cinnamon, of course. Another, okay, with a comment. Damn it, PayPal is now not showing the whole comment. Why is that? But anyway, it's from MJ Up North. Thank you for the comment, by the way. Added to the payment, $25 from MJ Up North. Thank you very much for this donation. $61 from, let me read this, from Gail. I guess it's the same nickname, so I can pronounce it there easily. Oh, yeah, I was actually, trying to not mention the real names of the people, so I asked them to put the comment to the payments, to the PayPal comment, no, to the PayPal payments, so I will pronounce their names from the comment. And if they didn't put anything, so I will say that it's anonymous. Okay, that's it. Now I can ask the other question if you don't have anything to ask, add, or just say, Dylan.
Do I have anything left that I want to add or say? Um, I don't know. I guess I would just tell people to go donate to UA Animals. I just got back from Kherson a few weeks ago. I went down there to film with rescue workers who were doing evacuation work. When we were down there, we got shelled. We're working on a video covering that. It was the deliberate targeting of aid workers from, I think, the evidence that we've gathered and the Russians gave to us, which is very confusing because they just posted the video of them shelling us online and just claimed we were like Azov or something. I didn't know I had a extensive service in the Ukrainian military, but I guess I do. But UA animals and animal and donations around like charities around animals don't get a lot of attention, and we helped set up a shelter down there. And so it was UA Animals to set up the shelter. So any support for UA Animals, I think, would be really cool because some estimates say that over 20,000 animals drowned to death in Kherson due to the flooding, and the ecological damage is going to be affect that area for a very, very, very long time. And I think it's never been a better time to start working on helping to protect Ukraine's ecological health than now. And UA Animals helps do that. And so I think they deserve some attention.
Thank you for mentioning that. Animals are suffering even more than people, I must say, during this war. So it's a great, initiative. You animals, you guys can find it where? Can you please send me the link? I'll add it to the description.
I think it's literally. I think it's uaanimals.org. I think or .com. It's one of the two. It shouldn't be too difficult to find. One second. UA Animals.
I just want to make it easier to people so they will find the link.
It's UA Animals, so it's uanimals.org.
.org. I see it. Awesome. I will send it to the chat and also, also where? To the description of the stream. Okay, Dylan, let's get to the next question. I saw the Borg fella was asking a few questions, but I guess we lost all of them. Borg fella was, he wanted me to tell you about Patreon. That Patreon is actually supporting the Russian propagandists and Russian military. Did you know about that?
I did not know about that. I did not know about that at all.
So Patreon has the pages of Russian propagandists. For example, Vargonzo has the page, and people can support him there. We Ukrainians were constantly reporting that page, and not only that one, all the Russian pages that we could find. But Patreon is not giving a shit about us, and they keep holding their pages on their platform, and they keep ignoring our reports. That's how Patreon being kind of banned in Ukraine. We still use it, but we call for people to choose Buy Me a Coffee instead of Patreon, to move to that platform, because Patreon is obviously supporting the Russian propaganda and Russian military, and it's been not that effective as we wanted. It's still being used, and it's still not being very well. How do you call it? The information about this shit is not spread around the world, and people don't know. Most of the Ukrainians know and try to move to Buy Me a Coffee, but if you want to look into it, I will try to find some videos with subs, probably most of them Ukrainian, but a lot of stuff about this in Twitter was appearing when it first started, I guess around 3 or 4 months ago, something like that. So here it is.
I do have a Patreon. It's the thing that's always been great about Patreon, and this is why creators have used it, and I think it's very difficult to I think pressure definitely people in my position against Patreon, is that Patreon is like a lifeblood for independent content creation for a lot of people, and convincing people to make that switch is going to be very, very, very difficult. I really hope that you guys are more successful in pressuring Patreon more than it's going to be very difficult to get a lot of independent content creators, because so many freelance journalists use Patreon to support themselves.
Yep. I totally understand that, and you're right, and I am not, I still keep it. I didn't delete the Oh, the Patreon page, and people can still support me through that. But I urge them on every stream to move to Buy Me a Coffee and not to talk.
Maybe I should start an account with Buy Me a Coffee.
Yeah, please do that. It will help us Ukrainians if you'll have the alternative for Patreon. Buy Me a Coffee is actually easier to use because not only the membership, it has the membership just like the Patreon, but it also has the donations, like one-time donations with coffees.
Hmm.
People can just buy you a coffee. So if people don't want to, um, participate in membership to do it constantly, they can just do one-time donation any sum they want. And so, yeah, that's the Buy Me a Coffee advertisement. They don't pay me. I do it just as a Ukrainian. Okay, Dylan, let's get to questions then. So this one was from Borgfella. If you're still there, if you want to repeat some questions, I will be looking for them because Borgfella is actually the one who proposed me to call you to this stream. It was on the last stream.
Oh,
Yeah, so it was Borgfella, and I'm happy that Borgfella did that because I'm really happy to meet you, Dylan.
happy to meet you too.
And someday we gotta meet here in person, because we're both in Ukraine. Isn't
True, we
isn't
can get lunch or something.
Yeah, we should do that. And what about your location in Ukraine? What city are you in if it's not a
I
secret?
live in Kiev. Kiev makes the most sense for me because then I can go. It's like the center of the country,
Anywhere?
so
Yeah.
I can like use it to go. I can go to Kharkiv easily. I can go to Kherson easily. I can go to Lviv easily. So it's like the perfect place to have base camp.
Yeah. So I live in Kiev too, and we both were in Good Morning Kiev. So yeah, probably we'll meet there, or maybe just like that. I can ask you when you're free, and we have a dinner or a coffee.
Sure, that sounds like a
Let's do
great
that.
idea.
Yeah, I love to meet people personally. Of course, doing this here uh, online on streams is awesome, but meeting people in person is a different experience and another level of experience, I think. Okay, so another question from your bench. Uh-huh.
Wait,
No,
did
it's
Borgfella have a question?
yeah, Borgfella. Well, I don't see the Borg fella in the chat, but if I missed the question, my moderators are sending it to the stream questions on Discord. Oh, I see. Borg fella is asking it now. So, Rick, I was also the one who suggested Dylan to Mercado, but I love Dylan's content and I think it is amazing what he does, and especially because he is so young. Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. So yeah, that was.
Yeah, I'm young, and I get that means I get to as everybody else is, I don't know, dry heaving from their years of smoking or their elderly war reporter status. I can run quicker into danger, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, being young, I don't know how much it's really helped or hurt me. Honestly, I think it's probably hurt me more because I think people take me less seriously as a younger war journalist.
Yeah.
But I also, still have all my hair, so they can get fucked.
Hmm. Yeah, that's it. You're right. And actually, I see the energy on your streams, how you roast those damn not only Russians but also Americans who are just helping Russia with their narratives. And yeah, I must say, as a 32 years old, I envy you because I had that energy on my at my 25. But I must say that I see no, I don't know, no 22 years old person in front of me mentally. You, in some things, you're even older than me and wiser than me, man. So you're totally, I don't know. I wouldn't be the person who will hurt you with that. uh, Yeah.
I gotta do more. I gotta do more to bring down my image. I gotta go get like I don't know, wasted at a party and get some like bad photos taken or something. I need to live more as a young person.
Who knows? I think you could achieve a bigger, much bigger things in life if you're not getting wasted on parties and all that stuff, because that's how we lose time when we're younger, and not always. It's mostly not good. You make most of your time, and damn it, this is so awesome. I envy you on that too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Borgfellow was adding, Dylan, people take you seriously not because your age, but because of the smart mind you have. Keep doing what you do, man. You have a very bright future. I totally agree with that. You have a very bright
Thank
future.
you. I
Um,
appreciate that.
yeah, you're awesome, Dylan. We definitely need to meet in person.
Very flattering stream. This is a
Yeah,
very flattering stream.
it's always like this here on my streams. I usually not flatter people. I say what I think. I'm just a pretty
You need to
open
insult me
person.
more. You need to bring me down a peg.
No, I won't do that because I'm a nice guy, man. Like, of course, I have some asshole moments when I'm an asshole,
Mhm.
but mostly I'm a nice guy by nature. I'm just, I mostly love people, but only good people, not Russians. Uh, and of course, not those MAGA Republicans and all who is ridiculous in their statements, of course. But to good people, I'm really good, and I try to help people. I try to, okay. So that's what it is. I'm not flattering you, man. I say what I think. So that's it.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Let me see the questions for you. Poncho Zorch was saying, Rick, I trust Dylan's reports more than CNN. Oh yeah, that's amazing. And I would trust that more too if I were you.
Man, I don't know if you should trust my reports more than CNN. I would say that, I appreciate the trust, but I also worry, and this is my one thing that I worry a lot about freelance war journalism, or like not just freelance journalism, period, and a lot of like online commentary and content creation, is that if I mess up, let's say I really messed up tomorrow, let's say I published a story and it was like, person gets shelled and that person isn't even in Ukraine, like a very embarrassing mess up. Unless my audience loses favor with me, there's not really anyone to punish me. And in a lot of aspects, that's a positive thing. If I want to spend time covering a really important human story, I can do that without consequence. If I want to spend time investigating something that I think is important, but CNN knows isn't profitable, then I can do that. But also, that means if I fuck up, I don't get put on leave. I don't get suspended. And so I do appreciate people's trust, but I also want to just make sure that people don't, just trust people blindly, and also make sure they diversify their sources. So they're confirming stuff with more than one source. Uh, if there's like video evidence or like something that's very clear, then that's one thing. But I would always advise people to get more than one source and diversify your news intake. Don't make it just a bunch of freelancers. Have a few establishment nerdy like CNN types as well. It's because they have a lot more filters than the average freelancer.
Yeah, that's a good point. And very well said. I have nothing to add. Okay, so another from Wasted Design. I miss Dylan's old debate show with the Tampax ads, Kappa lol. Nay, no, Kappa cool.
I used to host a debate show called Hippy Dippy, where we'd get four people who were right wing, four people who were left wing, and we'd have them argue in a big old call for like 3.5 hours. There is probably like 8 to 9 to 10 days worth of just debate content that show produced. It's actually how I first got my audience online. I mean, that's how I really grew on the internet. And that's what he's referring to. People always ask me to bring it back, but I just don't want to.
It's just something that you like grown over, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit. I think I grew all over it to an extent, but I also just don't think that that my space online has enough people, good debate people, good people who can engage those types of conversations to motivate me to want to reopen it. You know, the
Mm-hmm.
show's only as good as its guests.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Um, okay, I see no more questions here on Discord. I mean, I see more of them, but some of them were answered already. This is why I will not ask some of them. Okay, I just wanted to mention more donations. It was one donations from Anne Wilk. Thank you very much, Anne. And tell me, Anne, if you want to for me to read this comment because it's very personal. I mean, it touched me, and uh, yeah, it's very very sad, but also very good and personal. And please, Annie, tell me if you want me to mention it. But it's $100 for the fundraiser for the anti-drone system. Thank you very much, and it's very generous. I will look for your message in the chat, and let's see if someone will be tagging us. Yeah, RF from USA was saying, Rick, I want you to know there are more Republicans supporting Ukraine than the very few that don't. Dylan, will you agree with that? Do you know anything about that?
No, I mean I don't agree with that. I think elected Republicans, that's the case, and there are even some instances, and from conversations I've had with those who lobby these politicians, where elected Republicans support Ukraine, but they won't support Ukraine publicly, and they won't vote on supporting Ukraine because it's gotten so toxic within the Republican base. And if you see, for example, and this would be something I would recommend people go watch if they're doubting me, that there's a real problem amongst the base, because I believe it's like 50-50 in the Republican base. 50% are vaguely in support of Ukraine, and 50% are vaguely against sending aid to Ukraine. That doesn't necessarily mean they support the Russians. They're just against aid. And it could be as
Hmm.
basic as a reason as like, it ain't our country. I'm not going to go send my tax dollars to defend a home I don't live. They can be as basic as
Yeah.
that, all the way to Tucker Carlson. The Ukrainians have banned Christianity and they're terrorists, and they're all. It can be like a very wide, it's a lot of range there. But if you check the polling data, 50% of the Republican Party, the base, are against sending aid to Ukraine. And I was going to give an example. Watch Mike Pence's interview with Tucker Carlson on the issue of Ukraine. He went and he interviewed a bunch of different candidates: Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Mike Pence. And he was grilling Mike Pence on supporting Ukraine. It was like they banned Christianity, and Mike Pence saying, "I talked to my Christian friends in Ukraine. That ain't true." And the audience was completely against Mike, completely against him.
Hmm.
You don't get that now. Of course, it's one instance, but that type of stuff doesn't happen if there isn't some base amongst the Republicans that are against aid to Ukraine. And the polling data seems to suggest it's about half of the party. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't Republicans that do support Ukraine. There are. I'm sure the people in chat today who are Republicans support Ukraine. And I'm
Yeah,
always willing to work with
definitely.
people I disagree with on an important issue like Ukraine. But if we don't acknowledge the problem, we can't deal with it.
Yep. Okay, thank you. We have the next question from Surreal Taco. Rick Dillon, what has been your holy fuck, probably? Did I just see that moment? What do you mean?
What did he say?
I don't get it, actually. The message is, what has been your holy F? Did I just see that moment? Um, hmm, I'm not
I
sure
don't know
what
what
you're
he's.
talking
Well,
about.
I have no clue what he's talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, same. Okay, so what I wanted to mention, I wanted to ask you, Dylan, what, what here in Ukraine, what story or what trip, maybe some moment that impressed you the most? I mean, mm, maybe, maybe a few. Can you please tell us?
What moment impressed me the most? Well, it depends on like what exactly. What do you mean by like what moment impressed me the
Yeah,
most?
it's
Like in what
actually
way?
a pretty not shit. This question is too gives you in too many directions, right? Must do a more
Yeah,
exact question, I guess.
yeah. It's just like things that impressed me.
Okay, and uh,
I think one. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. What
okay.
was that?
No, do this.
I think one thing that impressed me is just the ingenuity a lot of times of the resistance here and how unique it can be. I think the best example I saw is you're familiar with signmyrocket.com, I believe, right? Signmyrocket.com, where people can go to this website and they can sign artillery shells or rockets, put a custom message on it, and have it fired at the Russian army for a certain amount of money. That is a practice that has been going on for thousands upon thousands of years. There are historical records of Greek slingers putting catch on rocks and stones that they threw at the Romans, right? So this is a tradition that's been going on for a very, very, very long time, but they've modernized it and made it marketable and now something that they can use to fundraise. Because before it used to be a tradition that was within the bounds of the military, where if you're in the army, you signed shells to entertain yourself with funny messages and quips, and maybe take a picture for yourself. But now it is something that is marketable. It's something that they can use to fundraise money, and that transformation of it, I think, is really culturally significant for warfare moving forward. Because I wonder if this is something that's going to happen in other wars down the road. Like if we have Korean War 2, are there going to be signmyrocket.com Korea? Shove this up your ass, Kim. Like, are we going to get those types? But it's a very unique fundraising strategy. I met the people behind that. I interviewed them. It's actually on my main channel, Dylan Burns TV, if you want to check it out. It's really interesting, and it also posed an interesting moral dilemma about commercializing violence, which we talked about very briefly
Oh yeah.
on that video on my channel. But if you want to hear that, you got to go watch it.
Okay, I'll definitely watch it, uh, but I'll probably ask you the link first. I just formed the question in my head. What story from civilians who suffered from Russian aggression you remember the most, and what of them like affected you the most?
I mean, there's a lot of really just terrible stories of tragedy here. The one that will always probably affect me the most is Anastasia's story, because she's a very close friend of mine, and I released a video covering her story on my channel. We talked about it earlier, but that really affected me because that happened before I met her. Like, I met her, and a month after I met her, it happened. And
Oh,
so, as I was planning to go to Kharkiv to visit her so she could show me around the city, that happened. And when she was messaging me about it and telling me about it, she was like, I'm still happy to show you around the city. I'm still happy to like guide you around Kharkiv. And she did. She even guided me around the place where her father died. And
yeah.
that showed to me just like an unbelievable amount of resilience to immediately after your father is killed by Russian artillery to be like, so can I show you around the city where my father died? I will show you where my father died. I will tell you, I will show the story to the world. And that's after a really emotional where they reunited a few weeks beforehand because they were separated since the start of the war. So it's an incredibly, I think her story is an incredible story of resilience. And since then, she's been involved in so much aid work. And I think that what happened to her kind of, in a way, pushes her forward to do more to try to make sure that happens to less people. So that's the story that probably affected me the most, because her father was just sitting on his front porch, like trying to feed a stray cat. He wasn't like a soldier out in the army or anything. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. And the Russians wanted to shell the city for either feelings of revenge, which is my hypothesis, or if they actually deemed some strategic benefit to fire in that area. I don't know. But I think her story encapsulates the story of millions upon millions of Ukrainians who are in a similar situation.
Yeah, no, I once again recommend you guys to watch that interview. It was really awesome, and I see the comment in the chat, the message. Again, the documentary was powerful, award-winning film, says Tonya Kangas. Yeah, good words, and I totally agree with that. So the Anne Wilk was saying, yes, of course, Rick. My sons and I miss him more and more as time goes by. So I will read the comment from Anne Wilk under that donation. She said, um, eternal memory to my husband, Howard, who passed 10 years ago at this day. Together to the victory of Ukraine, Annie the Yukichik. But it was written in Ukrainian, and I translated it just now. So once again, I want to read this in Ukrainian. Вічна пам'ять моєму чоловікові Говарду, який помер сьогодні 10 років тому. До перемоги України. Ені Юкічек. Thank you, Annie. It was, I don't know, it is touching to me, and I'm sorry for your loss, as a lot of Ukrainians suffer it these days. And yeah, I'm sure, Dylan, that you've heard a lot of stories, a lot of terrible stories, and especially in Bucha, how people were treated by those nasty, inhumane creatures who call themselves Russians. And yeah.
What got me about Bucha and just all of the violence that happened around there is it felt random because it was so unorganized, and the cleanup, quote unquote, afterwards when they started burning the bodies to try to cover it up. I mean, I don't even know what the plan was. They burned the what was that going to do? I don't know how that really I guess the idea is maybe it'll destroy some DNA of it. I don't know. But it wasn't unorganized. The violence was organized. Well, some of the random acts of violence were random acts of violence, just shooting people, just riding their bike around. I doubt there was like an order from Vladimir Putin, shoot that specific person. But the radio communications have been deconstructed after the fact, and a lot of the radio communications at the time were like going on like public radio channels because the Russians were just so unorganized. The fact that it looked unorganized, I think, is not because they didn't have a plan. It was just because they were unorganized. But they were meant to go door to door, find people who are military age or have some vague relation to the Ukrainian military, and eliminate them. And they called it a cleansing operation. That's what they called it in internal Russian communications. And they went out and extrajudicially executed people and held people in unbelievably inhumane conditions. And I think that first month of the war, you got to see the Russian military as it believed it could behave with no repercussions in that first month. Because they, to the very end of that first month, they didn't think that, we're not going to get pushed back. We're not going to lose this. That's not even a possibility. So they were behaving how I would assume they behaved any other time they took over territory in 2014, 2015, thinking that the Ukrainians are never going to take this back anyway, so we can do whatever the hell we want. This will never come to light. And so that's why I think the evidence was so overwhelming and why it was so unorganized. Their attempted cleanup when they had to withdraw is because they never thought they were leaving. They thought they were going to be here forever, that they could kill everybody they want, and then they could control the historical narrative. Like I said earlier, if it's not documented, then it's like it never happened. And they wanted to make sure it wasn't documented, but the withdrawal based on goodwill, right? That wasn't meant to happen, but it was forced upon them by their terrible planning and Ukrainian resistance. And so at that point, they tried to attempt to clean up and failed miserably. And so I think that first month is you're seeing Russia its most unfiltered in the type of violence it wreaked upon the civilian population.
Yeah, you're totally right, and they do it all the time. In Soviet Union, for example, they've executed millions of people. They've put millions of people in Gulag, and they controlled the narrative, historical narrative, as you say. And the scale of it isn't, I don't know, the world, I think, didn't and don't still realize the scale of it and how evil that regime was and how many people were killed or starved to death or just worked to death. And that's how Russia operates for centuries. It doesn't, you know, nothing changes. Do you agree with that? That it's all the same?
I don't I am not a I have not of the opinion that this is just how always the entity that makes up Russia will always operate, as in it will always just have to operate specifically as an empire. In its current configuration, yes. When you see how it acts in Chechnya, when you see how it acts in Central Asia, when you see how it acts in many parts of the world, its current configuration, that is how it will behave. But I am not of the belief that Russia's future is destined to just be that of
I
conquest, imperialism, and barbarity.
I wasn't
I
talking about
don't.
future. Sorry, man, but I was talking
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the past.
yeah. I know. Let me paint. I want to paint a little positive picture.
Yeah.
I am of the hope that one day, once the political structures that are in place right now crumble, either due to being placed under too much weight because of the war, economic collapse, whether it would be a civil political awakening, who knows what it would be. But afterwards, that it can integrate itself within European structures, international law, and be hopefully welcomed into the world with open arms. But that welcoming into the open world needs to be set on the preconditions of ending its type of imperialist behavior in Central Europe. It cannot integrate with Europe of the idea that Poland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Ukraine, these are extensions of their power. They need to start thinking of these countries as co-equals if they ever wanted
Yep.
to integrate itself back with Europe at this point. That's my belief.
Yep. And they also need to pay reparations. They need to, you know, to do something to atone what they did to us and keep doing to us. Uh, in this full-scale invasion, at least, and in the invasion of 2014. But I was talking about history. I was talking about how Soviet Union was acting, and it was acting just the same. It's the same imperialistic behavior and politics, and that we just know it as Ukrainians. We've been unfortunately our people been victims of those empires regimes that were actually the politics were the same until now since 1447, if I'm not mistaken, when the first invasion from Moscovia happened to Kiev Rus. That's it.
Have you ever seen the movie Red Dawn?
The one where Chinese invading the U.S.
Not no that well that was the new one, and it was supposed to be the North Koreans. Originally it was the Chinese, but they switched it to North Koreans because they wanted to get into the China market. I don't know why they ever thought that they were going to be able to get that movie into the China market. But the original Red Dawn is about the Soviet Union invading the United States. And I
Uh-huh.
watched it while I was here in Ukraine because I thought it was kind of thematically appropriate considering everything that was going on. And while I was watching the movie is kind of lambasted as a the most direct example of kind of like American kind of chauvinism in film. This like, oh, America's so powerful, Americans so glory, and its enemies shall be crushed under the weight of liberty and cheeseburgers and American Eagles, whatever. But as I was watching the film, sorry, there's a child in the background. I'm very sorry. There,
No
but
problem.
as I was watching the movie, rewatching it this time, every single war crime that the Soviets commit, and they're comically evil in the movie, they have committed during this war in
Yeah.
Ukraine. And so rewatching it and being like extrajudicial killings, mass graves, illegal detainment, like all of this stuff is stuff that they've actively done in this war. And so it was kind of a weird kind of slap into the face that the most stereotypical like caricature someone could make of Soviet brutality is happening right now as we speak, and the Soviet Union's not even here anymore.
Yeah. You're right. And yeah, and this only proves what I've told you about the history of Soviet Union, and Russian Empire was operating just the same, just the same methods. It's all their barbaric imperialism, and that's it. I see you probably no, you still haven't um, turned on your mic, so you still don't want to say anything.
I'm keeping the mic off because this is a child. I'm doing my best.
No, it's totally fine. I just wanted to do what? I just lost my thought there. But oh, I wanted to ask you, did you know what I do, or did you check what I do here on the channel also?
I saw that the channel has a lot of interviews, kind of sit down interviews with one on one with those interacting with the war in different ways.
Yeah, have you been
I
interested
love
in
those.
those? Yeah.
I actually haven't taken the time to sit down and watch them, but they are on my list because I do very similar interviews in a series I'm doing called Ukraine Uncensored. I'm going to be releasing two in the near future. One with a former Brazilian soldier fighting with the International Legion. Other one with the Kraken commander. But I love these interviews because this is the type of stuff that I think is going to be fantastic firsthand sources for historians in the future. And so I love these types of interviews, and I love that your channel's doing that.
Yeah, so I wanted to recommend you to watch the one I launched yesterday, but I launched, it's the old one. I've been dubbing it half a year ago, a bit less, about 5 months ago. But this is one of the best, and it's gaining, I guess, the most attention. Yeah, it's still getting views and comments. It's with the Russian professional soldier. And there are two versions now, one with subtitles if you like to read subtitles, and another one is dubbed. I'm dubbing them, those interviews. These are not mine, my interviews. These are from Ukrainian journalists Volodymyr Zolkin and Dmytro Karpenko. They've been doing it since early March 2022. They had the access first to those prisoners of war, and they've been interviewing them. They have a huge channel. They've posting those every day, and it's more than 700 interviews. It's only 522 days of this war, but they've posted around 7 or even 800 of interviews. Sometimes they do multiple interviews at the same time with multiple prisoners of war. But the content is not.
Can I ask you? Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question about this? Because I I don't think I would ever interview a POW, or I don't would say never, but I would be very very hesitant to ever interview a POW
Uh-huh.
because I am of the fear that when you ever have anyone that's a POW in a war zone and you're interviewing them, while I don't believe that these people were put under any duress to like say anything, I have no reason to believe that.
Hmm.
Nobody is ever going to take a POW interview at face value, and that factor is very, very hard to control for. To know that they're not saying that because either they want like better treatment or they, or any other motivation that they could have. Is this a concern that that the channel's taken into account?
Um, I mean, it's been they've been fighting that struggle, and they proved. I mean, these two journalists, they proved that they are not getting any pressure in them, and they follow all the conventions. By doing this, been getting people are trying to, oh shit, I can accuse them of breaking the Geneva Convention, but they've proven that they haven't. And of course, there's always a risk to. Are you talking about the channel being taken down or something like that?
No, no, I meant an ethical obligation,
Ethical.
an ethical problem.
Ethical. I must say that as a Ukrainian, truth matters most to me, and I don't care about ethics in this case. To be honest, if even if it's unethical to interview them, first they give their consent every time they ask them that question, and a lot of times they even, uh, you know, uh, trying to get why they are uh, agreeing on those interviews, and they make them explain why. And all of those organizations like Red Cross or like UN, all those observers, they've been on those in those pre-trial detention centers and in those prisoner camps. We already have one or two of them, or maybe even more, and they see that they've been actually treated with respect, and all the Geneva Conventions were followed, and they don't have. I think about that. Yeah, of course, the Red Cross, the famous Red Cross, who helps Russia, unfortunately, who, you know, how they act. You probably will agree with me on that because you're really informed, and especially how they. Okay, but I wanted to say that they were saying, given some complaints about these two journalists. Yeah, not complaints, but like they were saying, we don't like this, and we recommend them to stop. But it seems like they are playing along with Russia with on this when they want to stop the truth to spread, because Russians are also watching those interviews, and they know that. I mean, some of them even really see the truth, and they their eyes are opening. It happened too. We know that, and also it is good. I see what good in this. So people will see who are we dealing with, because a lot of Russians are giving up their worldview. You know, they even when they try to lie, and even if they're telling only 10% of information, they still they still show who they really are and what they really stand for by simple answers. Even when they're trying to deceive the interviewer, they still show who they really are. That's it. What do you think have to disagree on?
I I think some of the most historically important interviews, quote unquote, from World War II isn't really even interviews. It's the recorded conversations of Wehrmacht generals in British detention, where they took all these high-ranking Wehrmacht generals and they put them in this one facility, and they were treated very nicely. And what they didn't know, the Wehrmacht generals didn't know, is that the British had wired up the whole place with recording devices. And you could hear these generals arguing with each other about, actually, the reason we lost this is because it's this guy's fault. It was never my fault. And they would talk about like culpability with certain crimes and stuff like that, and what the future of Germany would be. And from a historical perspective, the books on those recordings, unbelievably dense with interesting material that it's so good that we recorded. And so from a historical perspective, I believe that there could be a usefulness in interviewing POWs. But I think that probably now I don't know about the specific case with the Red Cross or any organization. But I do know that it wouldn't just be the Red Cross that would have concerns about the interviewing of POWs, because the main concern I've heard from a lot of my colleagues is you will never, ever be able to know that somebody isn't talking under duress when they're a POW, because they're under the control of a country that they were at war with. And it's almost impossible to know for sure. And so a lot of people are of the opinion that you wait until after the war to conduct these types of interviews. But I don't really know how I feel about it personally. I think my colleagues made some pretty compelling points, but I also am of the belief that you need to record the history. You need to record the truth. So as long as nobody's engaging in abusive behavior or putting somebody under duress, I don't really have much of a personal ethical obligation. But again, it's almost impossible to know that for sure, right?
Yep.
So that's the main complaint I know many of my colleagues have.
Yeah, you're right. And I must say that um, they maybe okay. So shit. Passively, I think they are under duress, as you say. I'm not sure that I get that term 100% correctly, but I understand what you're saying. Under pressure or something like that, right? Is it that,
Could
Dylan?
you say that again?
Uh, when you say under duress, do you mean under pressure or something like that?
Yeah, like they could be under duress. For an example, like if you do this interview, we'll give you a bigger food ration. That'd be an example of like
Oh, yeah.
under duress. Or like if you say this in an interview, maybe we'll give you like better treatment in this or that way. That would be something that would be under duress. And again, I have no reason to believe that that had happened, but it's almost impossible to know for sure as an outside observer.
Yeah, you're right. And I must say that passively, they've probably been under that, I must admit, because they want.
Wait, when you
What?
say passively, you don't mean they held back food and said,
No, no,
if
no,
you don't do
no,
this interview,
nah,
we're not gonna.
not that.
You mean
Not
like just kind of like the environment of being in
yes,
Ukrainian captivity, like
yes.
passively just. Okay,
Yes,
gotcha.
thank you for specifying that. I meant that those prisoners will say, probably even if they are not asked to say something, they will say something that we Ukrainians want to hear. Just for them to be safer. They think, if I guess it's a a standard, not even a mindset, but just a human nature. You will, to save yourself, to like have a better chances to not only survive, to be treated better. You will pretend to be, to to understand something, to agree with your captive uh, on some points, just because you feel unsafe and you think that you must say that to get some benefits. That's what I mean when I say passively. I don't mean that anything's been done. It hasn't been done. I'm sure of it 100%. I must say that they are in the environment, as you said, where they think they need to say something to just have a better chances.
Yeah, I mean, I would also not be surprised if, after all the propaganda that somebody would probably be put under before getting captured,
Yeah.
that's probably going to affect how they behave in captivity, what they've been told. Because if they've been trained for like a year and a half to view Ukraine as the enemy, that's on top of like decades of propaganda of like either Russian nationalist propaganda or rhetoric or just like the historical narratives about the little
Yeah.
Russians and stuff like that. Once they're in captivity of the so-called Ukrainian Nazi Banderites, that could be quite a terrifying experience. Actually, I think something I could compare it to was Japanese POWs during World War II, where a lot of them went into captivity thinking that they might actually just be eaten alive, like actually cannibalized, because that was
Wow.
propaganda that the Japanese commanders told their soldiers that the Americans, when they capture you, they chop you up and then they eat you for stew. Just like comical levels of like brutality, right? The only,
Mhm.
the, so I could imagine that type of an influence, even though I doubt it was that, it's like the Ukrainians will literally eat you, but that type of influence on a soldier could possibly have an effect. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, even if you don't actively even like pressure them any which way, they can still be motivated by a million other factors. But that's true of any interview, right? And like always, like any interview, there's people going to be motivated by those factors. Like if I interviewed a Russian soldier who was not a POW, they're going to be affected by the fact that they have a commander. And if they talk about their shortages, maybe they'll get in trouble. And that's true if I interview Ukrainians as well, because sometimes press officers might not be too happy about certain answers that Ukrainian soldiers will give. Like, let's say I'm interviewing someone and I'm like, how's morale? And he's like, man, I fucking hate this war. Shit fucking sucks. I hate this shit. And then the press officers
Yeah.
in the corner like, but we all keep our spirits very high, don't we? Like we're all like, and it's like, so those pressures always exist to a certain extent.
Yep. You're totally right. And that's the truth. Definitely. I just wanted, yeah, I think I didn't even mention even once that please give the stream a like. It helps with engagement. If you still haven't done it, yeah, please do it. I see 333. We can definitely do 400 today, guys. You're amazing. Thank you for all the likes that's been already given. It helps.
Can I ask you quickly how much longer we're gonna go? Because in an hour, I'm supposed to call into a summer camp to talk about war journalism, which is a strange invite I got, but I do want to talk to them.
To American summer camp or Ukraine?
Yeah, an American summer camp. Yeah.
They will kind of interview you, right?
They're gonna have me on to talk about my work. I'm a little confused as exactly what they're gonna ask me, but I actually I did speak at a school. I spoke at a Quaker school in Maryland about the war, and it went very well, and they were very interested. And so now this is kind of like a follow up, seeing if this could work somewhere else as well. And hey, I'm happy to get people when they're very young, interested in foreign affairs, because
Yeah.
there's a stereotype about Americans, like you show them a map of the world and they just like start scratching their hands, like, I don't know, but we probably bombed all that. Like, so I want to push back against that stereotype.
Yeah, that's cool. We can actually finish whenever you want. If you want now, we can do it now because we've been with you for an hour and
Sure,
46
we can
minutes.
do like maybe one more question and then we can wrap up.
Yep. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do two because first was partially answered by you already.
Okay, I'll do two questions. I'll do two.
Borgfella was asking if you, okay, is it the one? Shit, I think I lost it. Just a second, I will find it real quick. Can you ask Dylan if he would be doing a POW interview? You already answered that because he is so skeptical about this. He would be the perfect interviewer. You probably want to add something to that.
I mean, I think somebody who is going to be more conscious about the ethical dilemmas of interviewing a POW is probably going to do it better. Of course, I don't want to like compliment myself and say I would do it better because I don't know, because I've never done it before. I know that I wouldn't be 100% objected to it in every instance, because I remember I saw an interview with an ISIS fighter, and it was an interview with an ISIS fighter POW. And considering how little one-on-one interview material where we get to talk to them in that way exists, I think there's a historical reason to interview the ISIS fighter in that way, right?
Yeah.
But I also remember the interview, and it sucked because the ISIS fighter was scared the whole time for good reason, right? He's an ISIS fighter and he deserves to be scared, piece of
Yeah.
shit. He was scared the whole time. He didn't know if he was going to get any repercussions. And so I wouldn't do a POW interview if I had any belief that the person wouldn't be giving me like straightforward answers. I've done interviews before that I never published because it just wasn't a super honest interview. I could tell that the person was like just telling me whatever I wanted to hear,
Yeah.
or was not painting a completely true picture. Now I'm not gonna do that in every instance. Like no matter what, people are going to like filter what they say. But if they're just giving me a crock of shit, I'm not going to repeat that. I'm not going to give them a platform to just, spit a yarn. There's an American saying. I'm not going to give them a platform to just tell me what I want to hear, really. I have no interest in that.
Yeah, you're actually right. And that happens in these interviews that I dub to. Sometimes it looks like our propaganda when Dmitro is asking some questions and really pushing them to some answers, or Zolkin does that, and I hate that. But I must say that it's been only about, I don't know, 10 to 15% of all the conversation. Most of the questions and most of the answers, some of them even really like sincere. Some of prisoners of war being realizing that they've been invading us and they've been the evil in this case. And it's just I don't know. Most of the time it seems truth, but I can really see when they're lying, and sometimes, yeah, it looks like our propaganda. And yeah, of course, we must say the truth, because one of the reasons that these interviews have been done is to counter Russian propaganda. It's definitely been done to show the truth, and because Russian propaganda is total lie, rarely half truth, and they are just, these interviews are just really fighting it good, I think. So I recommend you to watch one of them, at least.
I will. I've been meaning to get around to watching. I might watch it because I don't think I'll watch it on stream until I've watched it off stream, though, because again I have this image of like how these POW interviews should be watched, but I mean done. But I will go watch them, and definitely since you've recommended it to me now, I will go watch one.
Thank you. And I actually want to ask you how do you like to watch them, dubbed or subbed? Just subbed.
Ooh, this is the question, because I used to release my interviews completely subbed, and I didn't. My problem as a journalist, my main problem has been learning that I do have to rough out the edges a bit, smooth it out,
Yeah.
because my first ever video I released of Ukraine was basically just raw footage of me embedded with soldiers getting chased by a drone, right? Now, to me, the raw footage is super interesting, right? I'm the guy who'll go through and we'll watch all the CivDiv clips, and me and my buddies will watch like all the new CivDiv videos, like all the raw GoPro footage. Most people aren't like that. Most people aren't that like nerdy, like interested. And I'm like, wow, if you look at this 3 fields of farms here, you can see how wide the expanse in Zaporozhye is and how that affects the counter. Most people most people are not that nerdy about it. So I have finally like submitted to the fact that I'm gonna have it dubbed. So I have a British voice actor, not a voice actor, but he's an editor who's British, and I've chosen because he's British and his voice is funny. And so he now dubs over my interviews where people don't speak English. It makes it, I think, a lot easier for people to watch, especially when 40 to 50% of my audience does not watch my videos while watching my videos. They listen.
Yeah.
And so if you're just listening and you only have subtitles, you're cutting out so much of your audience. And that was the deciding factor that made me agree to dub them going forward. Because if I'm losing 40% of my audience right out the gate, I'm fighting a losing battle.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Unfortunately, I don't have time. For example, there are a lot of people who don't have time to just sit and watch. I need to constantly do not anything, but something. And this is why I put the earbud into my ear, and I listen. And these interviews been perfect just because I could listen to them. And for people to have the same experience, I decided to dub them right away. I didn't even post any with just subs. Of course, there's a risk that I will say something wrong, to give maybe some people, of course, they have a right to doubt me and my translation and maybe interpretation in some case, because when I translate, there are a lot of Russian slang or some sentences not finished, and I interpret them my way. Definitely there is it, but I try to do my best to keep everything as it was said. I'm not doing the propaganda in this case at all. I want it to be how it was. That's what I'm trying to do. So thank you for your future watch.
I'll watch it. And look, the translation stuff is so important. It's so important. War Translated and all these other groups, Julia Davis, who spend the time to sit down and translate the stuff from Russian or Ukraine into English. It's so important because when I speak to Americans about what Russian rhetoric is like around this war, they are shocked to hear how horrible it is. Like, for example, I don't know if you saw the Belarusian state presenter who was recently like, I hope Vanderlyn chokes on her own shit and her guts fall out. It's like just like hate-filled, just vitriol, like the type of stuff you expect them like starts yelling in angry German. I'm not being hyperbolic when I say that.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
I would say I've released probably 10 videos on my second YouTube channel where I just sit down and I'm like, look, I don't even know what I'm going to say to this. We're just going to play these subtitles and I'm going to read them. And we're going to acknowledge the fact that this was said on Russian TV to millions of viewers, right? And then when you read it, you're like, oh, now I understand how Bucha happened.
Yeah.
Oh, now I understand how Izium happened. Largest mass grave in Europe since the Yugoslav genocides, right? So that translation work is so important.
Thank you very much, and thank you for also doing that and showing the people what they really say there on their TV, because when it's hard to to show people what really is happening there and what kind of crazy hell circus is happening on their TV, how they're going nuts there, and just that Azarionok from Belarus, he's a fucking, I don't know. That dude is crazy. He's saying he's really cursing all the Western leaders, and they do it on Russian TV too. That shit is crazy, and yeah, thank you for showing this to people and really showing how it works.
Okay, one more question. One more.
Yeah.
Then I gotta go.
Okay. I actually don't see the questions. Maybe if my moderators will send something to Discord real quick. Just real quick, guys. 20 seconds, I guess. Okay. Oh, it's a mechanical keyboard. I like this one. What model do you
You
have?
can, you can, yeah, it's not. I'm not typing. My hands are up here. I have a buddy in the background. He's typing, right? He's writing up Ukrainian government propaganda in the background.
Ah,
Press releases for our conquest of Rostov.
cool.
It's about the cat's catheter.
It's about we have a cat that's very sick. It's very sick, but he recovered, and that's what he's typing about. I don't know if you needed to say it was about the cat's catheter, but thank you.
Okay, Dylan, I must say that I don't see questions. Sorry, guys, if I'm missing something, but you know how I am. I cannot read all of them. It's too many of them for just me. So, okay, and I don't see the new questions there on Discord, but a lot of people are thanking you for coming here today and thanking us for having this conversation. They say it was great, and I really like that you came here today and you visited my stream. I must say honored because you're doing a great job, and thank you very much for this. Thank you for coming to Ukraine. Thank you for showing the truth. Thank you for documenting the war crimes of Russians. Thank you for fighting the Russian propaganda. Damn, you do so much, man. Thank you. It's really a pleasure to meet you, man. Thank you.
It was a pleasure to meet you too, and thank you for bringing me on your show. And I couldn't have done any of my work if it wasn't for the kindness that people here have shown me and have helped me along the way. And people have really helped me along the way. It's not easy to, try to produce this type of media all on your lonesome with maybe like one or two editors and like, organizing all of this in a country where you don't even speak the language, where I don't speak Ukrainian.
Yeah.
But due to locals being very kind to me and helping me and wanting to assist me in the mission here, I have been able to film quite a lot, and I have a lot more coming out in the near future. The next piece I'm going to be releasing on my main channel is going to be a collaboration with Offbeat Research, where we interview over half a dozen witnesses to the Russian targeting of rescue workers in Kherson. We show GoPro footage, never before seen GoPro footage, photographs and video evidence proving that they've been targeting rescue workers in Kherson. The evidence is overwhelming. We talked to a human rights lawyer
Awesome.
about the human rights aspect of this, the international law aspect of this. Please be looking out for that in the near future. And again, I released the Anna video, and it's not going to get much attention because it's a personal video. It's not like military stuff. But I just released a video yesterday where I interviewed my friend Anastasia about her father being murdered by the Russians. And I know she would, and I know I would appreciate it if people gave it a look and checked out her story.
Thank you very much. I just want to say real quick that the stream will still be going for at least an hour, and that's it. Don't go anywhere. I will say goodbye to Dylan, then I go pee. I need to do it for some time now. But Dylan, once again, thank you very much, man. Nice to meet you. And I want to see you in some time here again on the stream. I would be happy to see you here again. And
Be happy to come on again.
thank you, Dylan. So have a great evening or night. Yes. Have a great show there with the camp, with the summer camp. It's really interesting. I will check that too, I guess. Will it be on your channel, by the way?
No, I'm not. No, it's for children.
So it's not gonna be even a.
I mean, does anyone here know what Ukraine is? Yeah, I know what Ukraine is. Yeah, I don't know.
Got it. Okay,
it's for
okay.
YouTube content.
It's not for your channel. Got it. Okay, Dylan. Once again, thank you very much for what you're doing. Was happy to see you here. And until next time, Slava Ukraini.
Herom Slava. You have a good one.
Thank you. Bye, Dylan.
Bye-bye.
Okay. So Dylan is still here.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. Now Dylan turned off, but I could have just switched the screen and that would have been it. So guys, as I've told you, I need to pee badly. Please stay here with me. I will be back. I could have put the video, but I need to do it real already. I'm back. I see we lost half of the viewers, uh, but we still have 137 people on the stream. Great job, guys. Let me see. How many likes do we have there? 353. We can definitely do 400 today, I'm sure of it. Please give it a like if you still haven't. Thank you, guys. Okay, this was great. I was happy to meet Dylan. Amazing interview, Rick. Thanks to you and Dylan, says Stefan DeWeese. Stefanon, sorry. Pretty tired, so I'll be messing with the names. Oh my god. Okay, so I'm trying to learn Ukrainian, but I can't write a D worth a crap. Sorry. They all look drunk. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. And I received a couple of donations when we were talking to Dylan. So one from Tana Otteson. Thank you very much, Tana. $200. Very generous. It helps a lot. Thank you. Also, I received coffees. It's been 25 from Lady Bloomer, saying Mad Kid. So another one for the Mad Kid. Got it. Then Mikkel bought 5 coffees. Thank you very much, Mikkel. And Aussie T bought 50 coffees. Thank you very much, Aussie. This is very generous. Thank you. Okay, guys. So Miriana Colton said I need a pee break too. Yeah, it's needed, definitely. We need to do that because this affects your health if you hold on for too long. You know that, guys? Yes, Rick, it was a great one. Really cool. Thank you, Armand. Thank you very much. And the donations. Let me get back there to PayPal and see who else have sent a donation. Okay, guys. Just a second. Dismiss. What did I want to do here? Yeah, ends. Also, Silver Earth was donating. I hope this support finds the heroes well. Slava Ukraini. Героям слава. Thank you very much, Silver Earth. If you're still there in the chat, please write something. Great interview, Rick. Thank you very much, Carl. Okay, guys, do you want to talk with me about my burnout? Do you want to know that? Are you interested? And I must say that we already raised 1,332 hryvnias. Oh, not hryvnias, dollars. Sorry, guys, dollars and 18 cents. Amazing. Thank you very much. Miriana Colton says, I donated directly to the bank, so you may not be seeing those yet. Yeah, probably. It takes some time to, but thank you very much. Monobank link is, if it will work, that it's even better. You donating directly to the jar. Thank you. Hey, Taz. Oh, hey, Rick. Hey, Taz. You missed the interview with Dylan Burns. I know that you were on Yulia's show. Sorry I couldn't make it today because I'm here on my stream, but I'm happy that they continue streaming. You're welcome, says Silver Earth. I'm still here. Glad you got it. Thank you very much, Silver Earth. So yeah, I guess I mentioned all the donations. I can list them again if you want to see if all been received, you know. Yes, Rick, spill the beans, says Armand. Going too often is also not good. On the other hand, says Thorn. Yeah, Thorn, you're right. Always interesting, Rick. Thank you, Cinnamon. Thank you very much. What do I see here? I see something. Yeah. I've been lurking for a while. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that someone has become a javelin there, and the message has already been erased by the other messages. You know, it went in history, but what? But I really appreciated becoming a javelin and stinger, and any member here is very appreciated, guys. You support me a lot, and it means a lot to me. And once again, probably I should mention the buy me a coffee every stream, so I will do it real quick. Please don't consider it as, I don't know. I just need to tell you that I have it, and there's a membership system here, and just like the Patreon, instead of Patreon, if you will become a member here, there are different tiers. Yeah, and we have a beautiful uh, shit. How do I call it? Stickers for that. Yeah, weapon stickers that are also emojis here. Okay, that's enough talking about my buy me a coffee. You already support me a lot with that. But supporting the armed forces of Ukraine is much more important. So, UA Animals, guys, the one that Dylan recommended, please consider donating to it too, because Ukrainian animals are suffering, and there's been even more death and injuries among animals, I think. We just, as always, we count people, but we don't count animals, and animals are just. Damn it! I hate to see the suffering of animals because I love them. I have two cats, and dogs are pretty cool too. I'm not like only a cat person. I like dogs too, and any animal, any human being too, and any living thing suffering is really bad. And it must not happen. For what does spill the beans stand for, or is it not appropriate for me to ask that? Asks Thorn. Yeah, Thorn. I think it's tell what you wanted to say. Tell us what you wanted to say. Yeah, I wanted to talk about me feeling, I don't know, exhausted for this week, for the whole week. Every day I wake up, I sleep for 9 hours, guys. Can you imagine? And I wake up broken, like physically and mentally too. I feel like I'm not, uh, how do you call it, keeping up with everything that's happening. I don't do dubs as much as I need to do them because I I work, and there's been a lot of work there as a yeah, that I work as a team leader. I have a job, and it's been a lot, and I'm not keeping up with everything. And I also, oh shit, I feel I feel like I'm losing it. Not like losing it that I'm gonna break, but like I'm not doing enough, or I'm yeah, I'm losing the pace. I needed to post the interviews faster. Instead, I'm posting them even slower. Like I'm not working on them more, but I'm working on them less. And now I've taken the biggest of them, 1 hour and 41 or 43 minutes, guys. This is one of the best interviews there. But it's very hard and long, and I've made the subs for 23 minutes, I guess, and almost finished. No, not almost finished, but half of the process done on the next 11 or 13 minutes. But it's still like only 10% of everything that I need to do on this interview, and shit. And yeah, anyway, I still want to see my channel grow as it's been growing at the very beginning, because we need to, yeah, it's all because we need to support the armed forces of Ukraine even more. Russians been learning. They've been taking our techniques, and they've been, um, they've been doing a lot more using of FPV drones. They have more Mavics too. They've been just, what they've been doing. You guys all know it pretty well, and it's been just, oh my god. You know what I'm talking about, guys. You probably understand this. I see the words of support in the chat already. Thank you very much. I needed that. I needed to talk to you guys about that, so you would understand why am I still not giving you any sneak peeks from the next dub. I want, I need to do everything. I mean, like, no, I want to work only on them and on streaming, but unfortunately, it doesn't come like that. You, yeah, when the channel grows more, probably at some point I will be able to focus only on this and not on my job that is taking a lot of time. I kind of like that job too. I like being a team lead. I think I have the leadership qualities. I I hope that I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure that I'm not mistaken. I like that too, but it is exhausting, and it's not the priority right now. Priority right now is helping the armed forces of Ukraine because I know that having a rest is essential, and but unfortunately, to keep up everywhere, to keep up with this channel, to keep up there at my job, I need to to do a lot of work. I need to damn. It's too much for just one person, and I know that I need to take a rest, but I cannot take vacation because I'm new on this position because I need to form, yeah, like not a form, but to work for some time to get the team strong. So when I go to vacation, everything will function just all right. That's how it works. So yeah, that's it. And thank you for your words of support. I will read aloud some of them. You guys are inspiring me with that, and it's touching. Thank you very much. Okay, eat, sleep, stream, repeat. But in this case, eat, work on your job, work on the dubbing, sleep, stream, repeat. Yeah, something like that. Animals, yeah, thank you for mentioning animals. I've been glad to do it. You should have a rest. Yeah, I should have a rest. It's stressful. You are in a war zone reporting on war. Can't even imagine how you are coping at all. Yeah. Rick, as you tell me all the time, take care of yourself, my friend, says Jet. Yeah, Jet, my friend, I saw your messages on the stream today, in the chat, I mean, but I wasn't able to greet you. Yes, to say hello to you. Thank you very much. I always tell you that you need to take care of myself, but instead I'm not taking care of myself. Shit. Sorry. Sorry, my friend. Thank you for all of the generous donations, says Angel. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. It's been a very good result today. We have $1,382 because Cinnamon just donated another $50. Thank you, Cinnamon. You're very generous. Thank you very much. Rest is paramount, Rick. It's okay. Yeah, it's hard, but you awesome, Rick. Hang in there, brother. Thank you very much, Courtney Scott. Rick, it must been rough for you. Stay strong. You can always talk with your community. Thank you, Taz. That's what I'm doing right now, guys. It's okay to take a break. You need to take care of you too, says Gail Roberts. We appreciate all that you do, but you can take a break when you need it. You are still doing great. We all go through ups and downs. We are here, good or bad, says Armand. Self care is most important. You're doing stressful stuff and it is slow going. Yeah. Be kind to yourself, says Emmeline75. Thank you very much, Emmeline. Friggin' depressing. Says Mariana. Yeah. We get it, Rick. Thank you very much, Cinnamon. Yes, totally understand. We understand, Rick. Thank you, guys. Pet Challenge was saying you need to rest too. Don't burn out. I'm sure I'm not the only one who loves Sunday evenings more because of you. Oh, thank you so much. It's very touching. Work smart, not hard. Yeah, but I don't know how to work smart in my two professions, to be honest, right now. I only work hard. um, thank you for your wonderful person. Thank you, Tank 2. Hang in there, Rick. Thank you, Tank 2. I have been watching since you started when there were only 5 or 6 of us watching. We need your insight on the ground in Ukraine. Thank you very much. Sometimes you need time to heal inside. I just got over a 6 months depression. Oh my God, Carol V, so sorry to hear that. Jed is saying, don't apologize, bro. Just get some rest when you feel you can. We need you healthy. Yeah, thank you, guys. You know, guys, I also must say that I feel like if I won't do, once ask someone to come to the stream, for example, for the next stream, we could do a stream without guests, just us hanging out here and just, I'm just going to be reading the chat, and because to organize the meetings with other people to have them on the stream. Hello, Alan Trent. It also takes time and effort, and it also takes yeah, it takes some energy, and probably this will be the way to make it easier for the next week to make less pressure on me. And I just worry, I have that worry that if I won't be calling some new people, some like that we might lose some support or like stuff like that, that we'll have less people here on the stream. But why should I worry? To be honest, I talk about this now, I say it out loud, and I think I still will have all of you guys here, and we'll still have those donations for the armed forces of Ukraine. We'll have them because you care about them, and it doesn't matter who I invite here, right, guys? What do you think? Tanez says, my opinion about you, Rick. You're stuck with me forever. Thank you for all the support, Tanez. Yeah. Thank you. And what do you say if we will have Jad, if he can come to the stream to probably relax, or will be alone in here, because probably this will be easier to not organize the next stream to meet with new people, or just with other streamers, or to interview someone, because it takes some energy too. Maybe we gotta do it. Miriana says, gotta go, all the best and stay safe. Send good luck and vibes to the soldiers fighting so hard for freedom. Thank you very much, Miriana. Thank you. We have you back, brother, says Bruce Campbell. Thank you very much. I will watch and support you with or without guests, says Susa. Thank you very much, Susa. I lick the like, says Rick Sanchez. Thank you. Be good idea to have members to come on and say a few words. For that you need have other streaming room. Then you just change tab to show them. Just idea. Yeah, thank you, Informer. But to organize all of that still takes the energy, which I don't have extra energy right now. I was just saying that I'm burning out, and new initiatives will just burn me even more. Unfortunately, I need to take some rest, I guess. But I don't want to do it. I want my channel to be growing. It was growing, and to do all that exciting stuff, like meeting new people, like meeting new streamers, like inviting them to the shows and posting the new dubs. That's what I really want to do. I want to post the new dubs and show you all that shit that Russians are saying, guys. Oh my God. Jet is saying I'll try to make it for next Sunday, Rick. Health dependent, but I'm feeling somewhat okay the last couple of days, so it could be on the upswing here. Thank you very much, Jet. First of all, your health is the priority. So if you won't be able to come to the next one, I'll totally understand. And yes, this is what something sad and depressed and stuff I wanted to share with you guys. You, I think I want to be sincere with you. I don't want to have two faces. Well, one that I'm always happy and energized, and like after that I will be, um, depressed and exhausted all the time. I want you to see me as I am, and if it will make some people, I don't know, why do I say I think it will draw people away? I don't know. I know why. Because every time I talk about the sad stuff, viewers are dropping off. Maybe it's just a coincidence, but every time the energy is getting lower, like the stream is getting sad or depressing, people drop off because I think it's a natural process. It is just like that. Just Calm says, "Hello, Rick. I haven't seen new interviews with Russian soldiers. What happens?" Life happens. I'm getting exhausted. I'm burning out. I'm getting depressed a bit. So that's it. I would love. This is something that I want to do most of all, guys. To put those new dubs out. To put the new interviews. That's the fucking. I don't know. I love to do that, and I love your feedback, and I love what you have to say about that too. But fuck, I have my limits, and unfortunately, yeah, that's how it works. If only you're like 18 years old, you have so much energy, but when you're 32, as I am, it's not that easy. It's not that easy to bear with everything. I still want to do this important job that I'm doing, important work, I must say. And I see your feedback, guys, and sometimes even the fun, good things feel like burdensome work, says Michelle DeCorby. Uh, you need to take pause and power up for the long haul. Sadly, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, you're right. That's a marathon, and sadly, Songcat, thank you so much for 10 more gifted memberships. They they encourage me. Thank you very much. The support, guys, the support you're giving me with memberships, and those buy me coffees. This is very encouraging, and that's what boosting up. You know how it works. It motivates not only the feedback, but I guess it's most important, but also those small donations and big ones too, because you are guys really generous, and I'm really grateful to you. Uh, okay, let me see what you were saying there. Caitlin R was saying we are here for you and the defenders until Victory Day and beyond. Thank you so much, Caitlin. Please don't worry too much. I only wish the war would end now. Yeah, I wish to. It's totally understandable the way you're feeling, but please go with the flow and we will still be here for you. Look after you too. Thank you very much, Jack Wilson. Thank you guys for all the great words of support. Rick, if they can't handle you being honest, they're not worthy your efforts for the armed forces of Ukraine. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tuna. Please don't get depressed. You are one person and can only do so much. My neighbor committed suicide this week. Oh my god. And it has affected me so badly. We love you and the work that you do. Thank you. Yeah, Armand, amazing community. Thank you very much. Guys, you are so supportive. I'm exhausted, but I'm also very touched. Thank you very much. We need to. Just Calm says, I understand you. Anyway, you did a great job with already. Just hope you'll be okay. Glory to Ukraine. Thank you very much, Haram Slava. And I must say that I will never stop doing this. if I won't be killed by a Russian rocket until the day, or until the day I die, I will keep doing what I'm doing. I keep doing this job. Maybe I will just, have some rest sometimes. I will probably take a week or two of vacation. I really hope I can do it maybe on September. Yeah, I guess I will be planning one, definitely. I need to do it, but yeah, no suicides here, guys. I'm very optimistic person, and I can handle the burned out, definitely. Definitely the rest is something that I need, but sometimes, those moments when you see that you need to do it here and now, or this will be too late, and you don't want to put something on pause, to put anything on pause, because you know that you lose time. And I feel like this when I'm not dubbing, that I lose time. I wake up almost every day with that feeling that fuck, I lose time. I'm losing time, and I live with that. But sometimes I don't lose time, and then I feel myself energized. But I don't know. I see that we also make a change here. We also donate a lot to the armed forces of Ukraine, and we we do that, and we will keep doing that. I will just be less hard on myself, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you for the words of love and support. I see all of them. Слава Україні, героям слава. I hope someday you are able to just do a normal job. Yeah, it actually feels like a normal job to me, guys. It feels like a more normal job to me than the job that I'm doing. I just want probably do the best of it. Yeah. Thank you. Sleep is the key, Rick. Keep up the good spirit and honor. Thank you, Zonke, or Zonke. Sorry. I actually sleep like 9 hours this week, and I still am exhausted. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm like, shit, trying to restore my body. Maybe is trying to restore all the powers that I've lost during this month. Who knows? Yeah, but thank you. Be proud of yourself for your achievements. Thank you very much. Sometimes it's hard, to be honest, to be proud for the achievements, because I'm kind of person who tend to like how do you call it? Shit, I forgot the word. Lower the price of the achievements. What's the word for it, guys? Help me with that. Okay, you really should have a vacation, and next year we will all meet in Crimea. I really hope so. We hope for this year, right? But it seems that this year we're still not going to get close to Crimea, but still, it is going to be. Yeah, it's still not the end of this counteroffensive. It just has begun, and we'll see probably our army getting that Russian land corridor cut, right? And they will come close to Crimea. I really hope that it will happen. I believe you have seen the Kremlin clown. Latest declaration, I have just landed aloft, but I've been angry also. I just hope that Ukraine will win and that clown will be punished. Yeah, that Putin clown needs to be punished, and I was also angry, but I was also laughing. But you know how it works, that asshole. An informative conversation, says Richard Holmquist. Thanks, Rick and Dylan. Thank you very much, Richard. Thank you for being here with us today. Underestimate, yes. Undervalue, yes, Jet. Undervalue is that I undervalue all my achievements all the time, and I see them as not enough, that I need to do more, that I need to support the armed forces of Ukraine more, and all that stuff. Okay, guys, I see we have 100 people still watching the stream. Great fucking result. And I wanted to show you something today. Enough of my depression. Thank you so much for support. But I wanted to show you something beautiful. Look what I have here. 2 salts. And I want to put them on the auction. Why is it blurred? Yeah. Now it's not blurred. Hey, it looked like it's part of my face, right? Okay. So 2 salts. I want to put them on the auction. Salts from Solidar. To support the 3rd Assault Brigade. When I'm buying these 200 hryvnias, I guess it's about how much? Around $6. But you guys probably will want to get it. One problem though, maybe not the problem, but uncertainty. I'm not sure that you guys, I will be able to put them on the auction. Oh no, sorry, not that. Rick, focus. I'm not sure that I will be able to send them because they considered a strategic value in Ukraine and exporting it. I'm not sure that it's not, yeah, probably is prohibited, if I'm not mistaken, forbidden. So I need to sort it out, I need to figure out, only then I'm gonna be doing the auction. But another option is we'll do the auction and this soul will stand here and wait for you to come to Ukraine and take it. Rick thinks the shills is on, so peeps went there. Ah, okay, got it. So they're all went to the shows. Got it. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that and want you to spread the word that we're going to be doing that. Another item, a very special item that I wanted to show you. Yeah, say it's a gift. It's easy to say it's a gift, but you need to be sure because if they find what that gift is, they will do what? They will not let you pass it on. Okay, guys, I have a special something for you. I've just unpacked it. So I want to put this on the auction, and I'm really not sure that you can get it out of the country, but probably you will be able to do it. But okay, look at this. This is the vase made of the shell. The shell of a air defense system, like the simple one that's been made in 60s, I guess. The Soviet one, if I'm not mistaken. But actually, this one is not Soviet one because you see there are Latin letters in here. U or 281 U. So the vase been made, and it smells like paint. So here it is. You see. Oh, and you can actually probably hear me echoed. Yeah, you hear it. So yeah, I want to put this one on the auction. Let me know in the comments who want to get that vase, who want to fight for it on the auction. It's around 2.5 kilograms, not that heavy, but yeah, you can probably also look inside. No, you won't see anything. It's empty though. It's a vase, pretty cool one. I like this one, so yeah. Okay. Okay, let me check. Rick, the salt will not get old. I'll come for it, says Tuna. Okay, got it. Let me know. Yeah, the Solidar, it's okay. I'll do the same constantly. I can relate. So what do you think about that, guys? I think the shields. Got it. All the old ones, reading them. Awesome. I see. Awesome. Great idea. Awesome. Well, really cool. I'll take 3. Okay, Carol B. Then I need to buy more of them, more of these salts. I will actually buy more than just 2. But for now, I bought 2 because, yeah, I can only buy them bit by bit. I cannot afford to buy more. But anyway, we can. You see how you hear how it sounds. Nice sound, right? I will bet my mother for Ukrainian flag signed by some of your soldiers. That will be a good one. I'll be getting a flag. Yes, I'll probably put that one on the auction too. The flag is going to be from the brigade we helped. Oh, actually, this time it's the 120th Battalion. Let's go there and watch the video I've posted. If you guys missed it on my channel this week, just give me a second. No, not this. Get out. The red one. I confused it for YouTube. So what do we have here? We have community tab where I constantly report you. So the thermal vision for the 41st separate rifle battalion. Yes. They received 2 thermal scopes, the last fundraiser we've been doing. So this was the reporting on the latest what? Latest stream, yes, El Greco sniper rifles, and I posted the video here on the videos. It is in here. Bomber drones. Let's listen to it.
Добрий день. Ми з вами збирали гроші. Пам'ятаєте, я обіцяла вам, що буде сюрприз. Ось, оце те, що зробили ви, і те, що зараз наші захисники будуть використовувати. Я прошу кожного з вас.
Shit, I covered the subs with my camera, right? I need to make it smaller and start it from the beginning, I guess. I will do it like that. Just a second, guys. Because I think it's important to see the subs. What Anastasia is
побажання, чого ви бажаєте нашим захисникам.
Started from the beginning.
Добрий день. Ми з вами збирали гроші. Пам'ятаєте, я обіцяла вам, що буде сюрприз. Ось, оце те, що зробили ви, і те, що зараз наші захисники будуть використовувати. Я прошу кожного з вас написати у коментарях побажання, чого ви бажаєте нашим захисникам, за кого ви хочете, можливо, надіслати подаруночок до Росні, чи що ще ви хочете, щоб наші хлопці зробили для цієї навали. Ми зробили класну роботу. Але ж ви розумієте, що це тільки початок. І я думаю, що десь на наступний місяць ми знову зможемо зняти таке круте відео з такими чи навіть ще кращими подаруночками для наших дурних сусідів.
Yeah, so they are bombers. They are gonna be delivering some presents for Russians. And they were bought by you guys. I guess you, together with me, donated about half of the sum needed for these 6 drones. We were actually raising for the car, but they said the priority changed and they need to do this. They need to buy those because it's always like that. At war, everything changes real quick, and I think they found the car for themselves somewhere. This what we have done to help our soldiers. It's 120th Battalion. I'm really happy. So how many likes do we have? We still don't have 400. Can we do it, guys, right now? I'm not sure, but 377 is a great result too. Great job. Okay, hey, Mashumani, you made it. How are you doing? Okay. Alexa is asking, ти в Україні чи в Канаді? Ти українець Канади чи просто українець? Я просто українець. Yes, I'm not just a Ukrainian. I'm Rick the Ukrainian. Yeah, so Alexa is asking some questions there in Ukrainian. Saying 10-та десантно-штурмова бригада Україна понад усе. Слава Бандері. Yes, героям слава. And Slava Nazi, of course, and it's 10th, I guess, Airborne Brigade, says Alexa. Are you from there, or are you just cheering for them? Rick, have you talked about Nemegam? I guess it's the correct pronunciation, not sure there. Fundraiser progress? No, I haven't been. Let me see the update. Or maybe you can put it here into the chat, please. How many? It was from 500,000 euros. It's been 370 something. Can you please give us an update? Guys, Lithuania Lithuanian people are raising money for an anti-drone weapons, right? If I'm not mistaken, for Ukrainian soldiers. And if you're willing to help Lithuanian people with that, you can follow the link that Taz will be sending here, probably in the chat. Taz, please do this. I will ask you to do this. Dizzy Dog is saying hi to all. Yeah, I know, late getting here. No problem, Dizzy Dog. Late is also good. The streams are pretty long, so even if you get late, you won't miss. Yeah, you will still see something or hear something. See you next time, Rick. Stay safe. Glory to Heroes, says Just Calm. Thank you very much for being here today, Just Calm. See you next time. Rick, is the stage set for a World War I style revolution? It appears that Putler has set the stage all by himself, just like Tsar Nicholas II. I hope so. I really am not sure that it's gonna happen soon, but it might happen someday. It might happen. I really would love to see a World War I revolution in Russia. War I style. Okay, guys. Okay, what am I missing here? Just calm, see ya, says Aussie. Aussie, thank you so much for all the support today and always, every time you do this. Great job. By the way, I think we're missing Timothy for the last couple of streams. I hope Timothy is okay. I will message him after. And guys, I was actually... Why shouldn't I discuss it right here, right now? We guys... the first flag I'm going to receive from the soldiers, I would love to not put it on auction, but probably give it to Timothy. What do you think, guys? I think Timothy deserves it with all his generous support, constant generous support from the very beginning as he came to the channel. To the first streams, he's been giving all those generous donations constantly, every time, regularly. Yeah, maybe we should send this flag to Timothy to show him our appreciation together with you guys. It's up to you, though. What do you think? Thank you, Jet. I think Jet thinks it's a great idea. I feel like I definitely owe him a flag. Mushroom Manny says I would be okay with that. Armand is saying we'll come and visit soon. Hope you have an extra mattress. I can help you to rent an apartment here. Unfortunately, I don't have an extra mattress. But I will help you to get around here in Ukraine. Okay. Slava, good morning, Kiev, says Jennifer, and sends $25 donation to the fundraiser. Thank you very much to the PayPal, for the fundraiser. So right now, guys, we have $1,407.18. Great fucking job. Aussie T is saying great idea, all for it. Thank you, guys. Great idea, Rick, says Ann Hill. Thank you very much. I would like to thank all the supporters from the... Okay, guys, all you guys, I would love to thank it. But I would love to start with Timothy, because Yulia was giving me this idea long ago to thank Timothy somehow. Now, let's start with Timothy. I think he definitely deserves this. And I see you guys agree with that, right? Carol V is asking a dumb question, as she says, but I'm not sure. Do you know if anyone has donated 3D printers to the military to make parts in order to repair kit and stuff? Well, it's actually a great idea, but you need to be in Ukraine, I guess, to donate them. Because probably, maybe you don't have to, but it's easier to buy it in Ukraine, right? To than to send it to Ukraine. Okie dokie. Thank you guys. Okay, what else I wanted to mention? There were almost no news today. I'm sorry, guys, but you see that a lot of time has passed already. Maybe something really important. Moscow was bombed. I was talking about that. But Ukraine was bombed. You see a lot more new victims. And of course, the bombing of Dnipro the day before yesterday, I guess it was. Or yesterday. No, the day before yesterday. Here's the Dnipro, the consequences. Not this video. I need to show you the other one from the very beginning when it happened. You see, guys, the building, I guess 3 top floors were totally destroyed. That's how it is. Fortunately, they didn't kill anyone with this attack, with this missile attack. 2 Iskanders they've launched on Dnipro. And there's a church in Odessa, the huge temple. It was partially, mostly completely destroyed by Russians last week. And this fucking huilo has been called Vladimir Vasilyevich, not Vladimir Vladimirovich. Look at this
Владимирович, президент Российской Федерации.
fucking face. I would punch it non-stop for a long time. Zelensky went to that temple in Odessa, and he was showing the footage from the inside. It's been after a week the attack happened, and you see, guys, how severe the damage is. I like this music. It sounds like Interstellar. I hope it's not Interstellar and it's not gonna be banned by the YouTube. Also, Susa bought 20 coffees. Thank you very much, Susa, for the fundraiser. Slava Ukrainian, thank you for your tireless effort. Thank you very much, Susa. It means a lot. Okay. A lot news, guys. Sorry that I'm not providing you with the news. Of course, this Russian creature. Okay, you know who she is. She's the. Oh, by the way, how this sports is called in English? Saber fighting? Not sure, because in here we call it фехтування. OCD, thank you so much for another 5 gifted memberships. You're very generous. Thank you very much. Fuck, that's sad, man, says Jet. Yeah. Aussie's on fire. Yes, legendary, definitely. Fansin, yes, Fansin. I know that word, guys. Fansin, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, Fansin. And what? And they were doing what? That Russian, you've probably heard those news, right? Where Ukrainian fencer didn't shake the hand of the Russian who was provoking, knowing that she won't shake her hand, but she did it, just a provocation, because I believe that she's an agent. You see, she was throwing the hand to Ukrainian athlete, and Olga, if I'm not mistaken, yes, Olga Harlan, Ukrainian fencer, just show her saber. She didn't shake her hand. She was disqualified. Then she was renewed. Then a Russian athlete was condemned. So this story showed how you need to treat Russians. You must not give up to them. You must be strong. You must not show weakness, and the world will support you because they will see the truth. And that's what Ukraine is doing. Fuck, it's inspiring. Rusky fencing bitch. Yeah. I don't like this word, and I didn't want to pronounce it, but yeah, you're right. Fencing sounds like building a fence. Yeah, you're right. For me too. So the Russian threw a tantrum for an hour. She's a legend. Yeah, our athlete is a legend, Ukrainian legend. That's awesome. Good for her. Yeah, I like the story. It's actually a story of a week, I must say. Oh, and Zaluzhny was gifted a named gun for him at his belated birthday by Zelensky, and to see the face of Danilov there in the corner. It's such a funny photo, guys. It's like bodies hanging out. You see that they're all like, it's a goofy photo, I must say. I like this one. Though a lot of caliber has been launched this week. Russia's been doing a crazy attacks. In Russia, they are about to judge 18 Ukrainian soldiers, and I hope they will be exchanged, but Russians don't want to exchange them. I know that. So these soldiers from Aidar battalion been captured sometime, I guess, last year. I'm not sure, but they want to judge them, and they judge them. Yeah, fucking Russians. What else was happening, guys? July 23rd. So it was, yeah. Crimea, of course. Bavovna in Crimea, Bavovna in Moscow, and the grain. You see the grain being, unfortunately, hit this week too. Russia keeps missile striking the Odessa and destroying our food supplies that were meant to be sent to, oh my god, I'm so tired, to African countries, to Asia, and to many other places. I want to talk news with you guys on every stream, but I usually put it into the lower priority, and this is why we usually don't talk about them. But I think there's not much new for you, because you watch Starsky, you watch Ukraine Matters, you watch Mercado Media, and you guys probably know all the news. So nothing new that I can bring you in terms of news. I can bring something else, you know. You know my style, guys. Fucking sucks, says Suzanne. Suzanne, thank you so much for all the gifted memberships today, for the donations. You're amazing. Thank you very much, all of you guys. Thank you. And I guess I received someone else's donation just now. It was what? Buy me coffee, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Susa, 20 coffees. I already mentioned it. Yeah, for the fundraiser. Okay. So, guys, the time's running out. It's been 3 hours and 24 minutes of the stream. Okay. Shelling is correct to say Russia is shelling the grain storage. But, yeah, correctly would be say to striking it with rockets, hitting it with rockets, or targeting it with rockets. Right, guys? But anyway... Okay, guys, so should we do it like this? Let me actually calculate how much it will be. To send about 30% to Helena, my friend, and the rest will gonna be sent into this fundraiser jar, as always we do. My friend Helena, if you guys don't know, she's making the med kits for the soldiers, and she's amazing, and I just want... It's not the only thing that she's doing. She's a volunteer. She's been doing some crazy fundraisers and actually using her own money to buy stuff for the soldiers. She's so selfless, and I support her with all I can, with all my powers. Okay, so let me calculate. Yeah, so right now we have, let me check, $1,407.18. I propose to do what? I propose to send $400 to Helena, and what? And the other $1,007 to the fundraiser jar, to the anti-drone system. What do you think, guys? You usually... Yeah, Anhil says, sounds good. You're done very, very good, Anhil. Yes, Angel, thank you very much. Angel and Armand, I'm sure. They are new moderators. Thank you so much for joining our team, guys. I'm happy that you're helping me now and that you agreed. You're amazing members of this community, and I'm really happy that you guys doing this. Thank you so much for your support and for your help now also with moderating. Thank you, guys. Rickest of the Ricks UA. Thanks, Rick Sanchez, and thank you for always supporting and being here too. Discord. We have amazing community over there. Yeah, Armand, thank you so much for putting this beautiful message with all those emojis. Yes, please join our Discord. Here's a link sent by Jet. Thank you. Sounds fair, says Dizzy Dog. Yes, thank you very much, guys. So let me do this. Let me start sending money. And I'm gonna show you also the donation for Helena here on the stream, so you will see everything. Okay, so first I'm gonna send the pounds that's been sent. You need to send them separately because you cannot do multi currency donation, not the donations, transfers here on PayPal. Yes, so let me first send the pounds. Okay, send all the 100 pounds. No, I need to change the currency. How do I do that? I forgot. Yeah, I remember it now. So 100 pounds. Oh. Thank to you, Rick. It's a pleasure, says Armand. And Angel says, thank you, Rick. Join Discord, says hello, says Aussie D. Aussie T. Yes, Aussie T. Thank you very much. So 100 pounds is 4,666 hryvnias. 4,666. Awesome, guys. I'm sending it to my card now. And I'm not going to donate it right away. I'm going to add it to the next transfer that I'm going to do now. Okay, so... Sent it. Then I need to send what? How can I calculate it? Oh my god, so tired. We are Rick and rolling for Ukraine. I'm so proud of all of you beautiful people, says Tane. Yeah, Tane, your guys are amazing. Amazing community. We're doing a great job. And, okay, this is it. Now I need to transfer the rest of the money. So I need to calculate what? I need to calculate how much 400 it will be. Give me a second. 400 is gonna be... Oof. Yes. It's gonna be 14,627. That's what I need to send to Helena. So minus 400 and 666. Yes. Oh no, it didn't work. Yeah, because it was oh my god. 14,627. Minus what? Yeah, I'm doing, sorry that I'm keeping you waiting, guys, but to do all the calculations and be transparent, you'll have to wait for another minute or two. Thank you very much for your patience. 4,666, and now okay, got it. So it's 200. Oh, yes. I needed to do it the other way, I guess, but whatever. I'm doing it. I'm doing all these calculations. Let me send the money from the PayPal for just Helena's. So it's $400 gonna be. So the second part is gonna be $272.39. cents. Yeah, let me do this. Okay, transferring it. 272 and 39 cents. This time I want to send money to Helena first. I don't know why. Should have, I guess, it's 900. 9,961. Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay, then once again, $400 are, what? Let me check. Yes, it's 14,627 hryvnias. Sending it to Helena now. I'm gonna show you the screenshot in a minute. Yes, after I send them. Okay, great. So, Helena, my friend, let me find you in here. Yes, here she is. Okay, so send in 14,627 hryvnias. 27, yes. Commentary. Robert Harrington is saying 25.3k subscribers. Rick, congratulations. You are always growing a larger support base. Thank you very much, Robert. Thank you for all the support and for noticing that and for pointing it out. Thank you. Okay, so the comment from my friend Helena. For medkits and yeah, for medkits, keep up the great work. That's it. Sending it. Okay, so I just need to make a screenshot when it appears in here. Then I show it to you, and then we proceed to the fundraiser, to next donations. You know, to less of the sound that we raised. Rick, I really enjoyed your chat with Dylan. I didn't know much about him other than on GMK. Good morning, Kiev. Really interesting to learn more about different supporters of Ukraine. Yeah, I agree. Definitely very interesting. Okay, so making this screenshot real quick. Oh, guys, there's a link in the description of the stream. Another one that I haven't mentioned today, the interview. Some of you probably have seen it, but it's an interview with a famous American soldier who has a channel who overviews the Russian battle, GoPro camera battles that I guess guy's name is Teo. Yes, and he has done the interview with soldier of 3rd Assault Brigade, the one that Roman Trohimovich is also serving in. That great interview is there in the description of the stream. Please go check it out if you haven't done it yet. Thank you very much. Okay, so sending myself a screenshot and showing it to you. Yes, guys, just give me a minute. Rick the exhausted, I must say, these days, right? Okay. Yes, I have it. I have it in here. I'm gonna show it to you right now, and then I'm gonna make the last donations. Okay, and here in the bottom, at the bottom, not in the bottom. But yeah, here it is, guys. You can see it. 14,627. Shit, my nose is sniffing because I have allergies for cats, and I have 2 cats, and it's not opening. It's bugged. I need to renew the page. Probably it works. Yeah, it works. 14,627 hryvnias. It's $400, and you see the comment from Mad Kids. Keep up the great work. Yes, guys, this is it. Cyber Syndrome says, "Hey Rick, thanks for the work you do, mate." Thank you very much. The words of your appreciations, guys, it motivates like nothing else. Thank you. You are amazing. Thank you for all the support you have given me today on the stream. It means a lot to me. Thank you, guys. Okay, rest. Rest is going to be sent faster. Rest of the money. So the next transfer is going to be $507.17. Doing it real quick, like never before. 17 cents. Yes, here it is. In hryvnias, it's going to be 18,000. Let me put it there in the jar right away before I even sent it. Yes, so 18,546 hryvnias. Yes, sending it to my card first. And I'm also hungry. That's great that we haven't been talking about food on this stream, because I would have been even hungrier. Okay. From Rick, the Ukrainians community. From Rick, the Ukrainians community. Slava Ukraini. Sending it, and you will see the progress bar updating right now, guys. Please witness this. 56,980 hryvnias. Great job, guys. And it's not all. We still have to do the other one, $500, remaining $500. It was like the auction, $500, remaining up $500. It's the last tranche. It's gonna be done right now. Good show today, says Tony Goodman. Thank you very much, Tony Goodman. Thank you for all the kind words there in the chat, guys. Thank you, and sorry that I'm missing some of them, because it's impossible, unfortunately, to read all of them, because I'm only I'm not the only one here. Of course, we have moderators, but my attention span is not unlimited, you know. Pretty fucking tired. But 500 been sent, and I only need to add it to the jar from my card. Just a second, guys. I need to send it now. I'm gonna another one from Rick. From Rick, the Ukrainians community. Heroям слава. Heroям слава, yes. Okay, guys. Here it is. 18,000. The progress bar will update now. 75,000. It's 20%, guys. We raised 10% of almost $10,000. Great result. And in just a few streams, we're going to be closing this fundraiser. In 8, ideally faster. Ideally that we're going to grow the speed of this fundraiser, and we're also going to be posting it in Ukrainian chats too, on the pages too, so Ukrainians will help us with this fundraiser, because it's a huge sum of money. I totally understand, but El Greco was also saying that he will need our help in raising money for, oh my god, the addition to the scope, thermal edition, not the thermal scope itself, but the thing that you put on it, the thermal thingy that will help to see Russians. And the good one costs $5,000, around something around that. And yes, we have still a lot to work on, and still a lot to raise, and a lot support to give to the armed forces of Ukraine. Yeah, it's really hard for one person, but I'm not alone. You guys, thank you very much for what you do, how you support me in terms of my burning out today and tomorrow. Oh, I mean, the next stream will probably be with Jet or alone. I need to chill a bit. Just probably to not take too much time on organizing the next stream or stuff like that. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I won't keep my word and we'll have another guest on the next show. Let's see how it will work. Oh, guys, you are amazing. Thank you. This is it. Your live stream made my day, says Robert Harrington. Oh, Robert Harrington, it's amazing. Awesome job, everyone. Yeah, I agree, and hell, guys, you are amazing. Thank you all. Oh no, I still haven't forgot. I have forgot to donate $52 that from Buy Me a Coffee, raised on the last stream. Yes. Oof, yes, I forgot to do that. Just a second. Okay. $52. I just need to convert it to hryvnias first to send it to the jar. So wait a bit. Okay, it's a good addition. It's gonna be 1,906 hryvnias. Awesome. More donations. Jet is saying have a good night, Rick. Thanks for the great stream and all you do. Thank you very much, Jet, for your kind words and all that you do to support me. Okay, guys, it's 1,906 hryvnias. Oh, 1,906. Sending it to the jar. Yes. Yes. Let's add, I'm adding the comment a small addition, and I want to say Slava Nazi, which means glory to nation. Awesome. Awesome, guys. 1,906 hryvnias more. Let's check. It's going to update now. Or is it updated already? No, now. 77,170 hryvnias. Amazing. Great job. Great job, guys. Дякую, says Gail Roberts. Gail Roberts, you're welcome. And дякую for your attention and all the support of all of you guys today on the stream. Amazing stream. Yes, thank you everyone for coming to the stream. Time flies when you are having fun, says Armand. Yeah, guys, I'm glad that you had fun today with us. But we're not also having fun, right? We're doing some important stuff. But yeah. Oh, someone just donated? Or what happened? Let me check. Oh yeah, David donated another £100. David, are you there? What's your nickname on the stream? Sorry if you have the same nickname and I missed you there. But please let us know if you wanna disclose your real name, just the first name though. But £100 from David. There was no comment. This is why I used just the first name. Sorry guys, if it's if you David didn't want me to disclose your name. What guys? What do you think? Do we donate it right now? Right here, right now? £100? Tell me. Yes, David. It's amazing. Yes, let me. Rick, if only I could sing a Ukrainian lullaby. Thank you. Tune. David. Okay, what do we do, guys? Do we donate it now? Yes, let's donate it now. It's gonna be but it's gonna be a cool addition to the next stream. Like, if we're not gonna have 1,000 on the next one, it's gonna be extra 100 pounds, right? Like it was on this stream. So I'm actually pretty confused. It's gonna be, yeah, it's actually gonna be boosting my confidence on the next one. If we're not gonna have 1,000, we're gonna have an extra 100 pounds. What do you think, guys? Yeah, I lean to that. Dizzy Dog, is it you? Dizzy Dog, me. Yeah, Dizzy Dog, it's you. Dizzy Dog, thank you guys for helping me. Thank you to Na in particular for helping me to open my eyes and see that it's Dizzy Dog saying me. Yeah, I was typing and thought he was going. Dizzy Dog, so do you want me to redirect it to the jar right now, or made it a fine addition to the next week fundraiser? What do you think? Well, the same fundraiser, just to the next week donation. What do you think? Tell me. And we need to finish up the stream because it's been 3 hours and 47 minutes. Oh, you're right, Armand says. Got it. Okay, I see. I think it's probably not a big deal if we keep this money for the next stream, right, guys? Just like we did this time. Dizzy Dog, I've mentioned your donation from the last stream. You remember that, right? Yes, so awesome, says Maria V. Yeah, definitely. Mad Kids. To Helena, this money for Helena. Probably on the next stream. Yeah, let's do the next stream, guys. We need to finish this one. I need to sleep. I need to rest. And yeah, I guess Dizzy Dog is totally okay with it. Dizzy Dog, if you say that this money go for the medkits, we'll do that. Okay? But what do you say about the next stream? We'll send them to the medkits on the next stream. But if you say no and hit the fist at the table, we will send them right here, right now, for the medkits. What do you say? Dizzy Dog? It's a, drum roll. we need your message there. Okay. How did I miss this? Says Amphibious One. Amphibious One, did you miss the stream? Go to bed, Rick, says Aussie. Yeah, Dizzy, yes, sometimes $200 a piece, I think. Pice? All piece? Okay, yeah, one medkit is $200. No worries, whichever you think best. Okay, then next stream. Great. And you see, this stream, I sent your 100 pounds from the previous one to the medkits too. So it's just like you wanted, as you wanted. Okay, guys, we need to finish. This was an amazing stream. I was happy to meet Dylan. I was really touched by some of your messages, comments, some of your words of support. Thank you very much. You guys are amazing. You are the best community I've ever seen. Of course, because you mind community, but obviously you're also a great community. Very friendly, very supportive. The one that I could dream of, definitely. What is the meaning of life? Nice question, Tony. The meaning of life is sleeping enough, eating good food, and being happy, right? Yeah, I guess that's it. So I'm trying to do some of that. Get some rest. Yes, guys. I will be missing some of the messages in the chat after I press the end stream button, but not for long. But keep them coming. I will. Happy to see them too. Okay, guys. Rick, I booed sleeping spelling. What do you mean? Pieces. No problem. If you mean pieces, like one piece, like one thing. Yeah, got it. It's no problem. If you're worried about that, get some rest. Slava Ukraini, Героям слава, guys. Sweet dreams, Yarik. Thank you. It's needed. Thanks, Rick, and everyone else. 42. Ah, that question. Yeah, this is a question of life. How did you put it there? The meaning of life. Yeah, no, it's not a meaning of life. This was the question, the answer to the question of life, universe, and everything else, right? And all the other stuff or something like that. It's 42. I know that. I've read that book. Yeah, I've read that book. Hitchhiking Hell Galaxy, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Enough talking. Need to end the stream once again, guys. Love you. Have a great week.